The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard.
High in an Italian sky, we look down upon Autodromo Internazionale Enzo E. Dino Ferrari. I have to use my hands when I say that. Or more simply known as Imola, which under a late afternoon Tuscan sun plays host to round 9 of 10 on the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series schedule. This 15-minute streamy award-worthy pre-race show will count us down to when the pace car peels off and the multi-class grid of Ford Mustangs and Mazda Miatas MX-5s dive toward Variante Tamburello, a left-right-left punch that starts the clock on this 2.5-hour contest. So bring cyberspace into your place. Follow the triple P rule. That's pizza, pepperoni, and plop yourself onto the Lazy Boy recliner to enjoy the simulated sports car action that will be streaming your way. Ciao, everyone, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soupson. Back, as always, to follow the ST action is my partner in crime, Sean Crackers Ambrose. And I am delighted to announce that joining Sean and myself in the booth to follow the GT class is my old booth partner from when GSRC was in its infancy, Ayrton Ellis. Now, this afternoon's broadcast is sponsored by the highly skilled performance automotive shop, Defined AutoWorks. Located just east of Columbus, Ohio, this garage is operated by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, building and turning engines for use on street and track. Custom modifications, Sean, even design and fabrications are available.
Any drivetrain is welcome at Defined AutoWorks, but their racing connection is tied to the renowned heritage of Mazda. Their reputation was built upon their successes with Mazda's beloved rotary engines. Defined AutoWorks holds national records for horsepower from the rotary engine, and Ayrton, they'll build you a 2, 3, or yes, even 4 rotor power plant beyond compare.
Defined AutoWorks often test and tune at Mid-Ohio, only 90 minutes north of their facility. Their most recent projects include work for CESCS's own John Deuce Allen driving today in the ST class for 49 Motorsports. Contact them anytime at definedautoworks.com or stop by when you're in town for a race.
Okay, we've reached the penultimate round of Season 7. Now, last time at Mid-Ohio, Bushfink Racing Blue in the GT class and the main car for 49 Motorsports were the first teams to the checkered flag. Now, Ayrton, what does Imola have in store for these guys?
Well, it's definitely a tough track, just over 3 miles long or 4.9 kilometers and 20 turns, all of different varieties. Actually, there's quite a few chicanes, but typically it's a typical Italian track, has a lot of rumble strips on the insides and outsides of the corners and requires a lot of intense concentration because you've got those chicanes, a big mix of fast and slow corners. So definitely a tough one for these guys today, and we do have a track guide driven by Amjad Yaman.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Imola. Coming across the start-finish line, you'll just try to straight line things as the track weaves back and forth a bit. This will make it tough to tell whether a driver is defending into turn 1, so expect some miscommunication and maybe some awkward moments between drivers. Down into the braking for Tamburello, there's a little kink in the road, making it easy to clip the outside grass. Get yourself a good launch off the second apex of this section and keep your foot to the floor around the third. From here, we approach Villeneuve. This can sometimes offer a place to pass, but because this first apex is very quick, it's a bit dangerous. Make sure to get the car slowed into the second half because it's incredibly easy to get greedy and push wide into the gravel. From there, you've got a short burst to Tosa, which is another spot where sneak attack passes can sometimes happen. This is a typical hairpin though. Square off the corner with a late apex to give yourself the best run up the hill. With so little power in the Miata, it's very, very important to try to get on the gas as soon as you can. Up the hill, the track will bend a little bit to the right, but you'll want to hold all the way to that side to line up Piratella. This is a turn that loves to make cars understeer. You've got a lot of runoff on the outside, but you can still lose a lot of time if you abuse it too much. Swing back to the left now and spot your brake marker for Aqua Minerale. There's 2 apexes here, but just like Villeneuve, the first one is all about getting the car slowed and ready for the second. Be sure not to carry too much speed and slide the car fully onto the AstroTurf. You will get a slowdown penalty by going too far wide, and that's going to hurt with it being an uphill climb afterwards. Plus, you've got heavy braking coming up into the Alta chicane. If you do try and overtake into here, be sure not to be side by side by the time you reach the corner. It's single file in this tight fiddly S. Unlike before, the AstroTurf on the outside is fair game, so don't be afraid to run out onto it. Once more, the track is going to weave left and right a little bit, and now we come back downhill for the final time of the lap. Heading into Ravazza, you've got to hold to the right, but because of the drop in elevation, it's very easy to overshoot this corner. It comes in 2 parts, this first sharper bend, then this more open and much more important second bend. With this last turn dumping you onto the longest acceleration zone of the track, you really need to learn how to nail it. Otherwise, you're going to be totally vulnerable to your opponents. But as we come to the line, you've now finished a lap around Imola.
Joe Peak talks us around a lap at Imola. But now to talk us through some of the championship points, it's going to be my partner, Sean Ambrose. Okay, Crackers.
All right, Soup. Now listen, with the season winding down, it all comes down to the Drivers' Championship here in the CESCS. And let's take a look at that here real quick. In the GS class, and that's going to be Mika Eshouse. Up there with 726 points, Soup. And he's got 68 points in the pocket. This is including the drop weeks. We've got Jeff Jacobs there in second, 70 points back. James King in third, 110 points back. Now, they've got 0 in their pocket, so that's a good battle there between second and third. Only 40 points separate them. Back to Craig Williams, who is up a spot to fourth, 184 points. Todd Honzarenko up a point, up to fifth, 190 points. Great battle there going on between him and Craig Williams in Bushfink Racing Red suit.
And now we'll look at the drivers or the team championship. And just to clarify, those pocket points, that's their highest drop rate. So for Mika, he's got a 70-point lead with 68 points in case he blunders. So, man, that's the position you want to be in. Okay, now the team championship. Bushfink Blue still out there in front, top of the chart with 726 points. Mainly that's S-House and James King seem to do most of the work there in that one. Second place, Extreme Motorsports. That's with Jeff Jacobs there and Patrick Bieri do the yeoman of the work there. And then, a little boo-boo there. Up a position there, that green arrow and red arrow, kind of confusing. Extreme Motorsports, 210 points back. Kevin Ford and Michael Burgett doing most of the work there. Dropping is Bushfink Racing Red. That's the Williams guys of Craig Williams and Craig Parks. But we got a ringer for that team today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, somebody that we're going to keep an eye on. Then we have Flying Tortoise Motorsports rounding out the overlay there. 324 points back, but good enough for Travis Davis and Russell Ruddick to make the chart. Sean, let's talk about the ST guys.
Oh, yeah, my favorites. The ST class here, the Drivers' Championship. Again, as the season winds down, it's a close battle. But Sonny Canchin leads everybody right now with 564 points. Tomas Szabo, 68 points back currently. Now here's the battle. Battle for the podium and the points. John Deuce Allen sits there in third, up to third. Just 17 points behind him. Robert Hartley is on the way, but boy, I don't know. Hartley doesn't seem to be hooked up real well at this track. We'll see if he can hang on today. Good chance to catch John Deuce Allen, though. Richard Losper down 2 spots to fifth, but Richard's fast here. I raced with him yesterday in some practice, and he had a really good time. Was really consistent. He's got a lot of laps of practice. He could still strike and get that back there in fifth.
You know, what's interesting about the top 2 names up there with Canchin and Szabo, they race together all the time. Szabo missed 1 race, and that's what's making the difference. They've raced together the whole time. That's what's keeping Szabo out of a tie for the championship. Okay, looking at the ST teams now, and this is going to see a surprise up at the top. It's 49 Motorsports. They had a great run last time at Mid-Ohio, and most of the work for that one is Robert Hartley and Andre Saunders. But honestly, what 49 Motorsports does, that's just really a team by committee. Who's ever hot, who's ever looks good, they put them in there. So it's Hartley and Saunders have done most of the work, but anybody could drive there. And up another point into second place is Asbury Motorsports, and that's the team of Losper and Stevenson. Look at this, though. Dropping 2 spots is the number 74 team for Asbury. That's the Sonny Ketchen and Thomas Zawa. You would think they would be a little higher, but they had a bad race, and they're 3 points out of second, but they're going to have to hustle if they want this championship. Then you got 49 Motorsports back again. That's the 47 team, mostly driven by Chris Hewson and John Allen. Deuce is here again today, and then Asbury puts in a third entry there, number 75 team, and that's Schwenke and Tom Rathie. Travis Schwenke and Tom Rathie doing most of the work for that one. So with only this race and one more to go, there's still some contests that still need to be decided. But we've talked about the points. Let's go ahead and turn it over to Ayrton to tell you about what the series and race details are all about.
Thanks, Joe. Well, the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series is sanctioned by the Qualify Racing Syndicate. We are on round 9 out of 10 in the 7th season. 2 classes here, Grand Sport, which features the Mustang with 70% fuel in this race, and then the Street Tuners class, which is the MX-5 Cup Mazda car, which will have 65% fuel for this race. Both cars have open setups for this race and should have to pit at least twice during the race.
Okay, and everybody, we've got qualifying 20 minutes for each class today. The race is 2.5 hours long. No fast repairs. You better take care of the car at Imola. And there's no incident cap. No live marshal today, so that means there'll maybe be a local yellow, but there'll be no yellows stopping this race. Single file by class, but doubtful there'll be any flags, like I said. So we've got late afternoon conditions here. It is 85 degrees on track, 77 degrees, temperature outside, a little bit of wind, northeast 7 miles an hour, Sue.
Yeah, you never know with this series. Sometimes they have a live marshal, sometimes they don't. It really does change the strategy a little bit when you know a yellow flag could be thrown. But to be honest with you, even with the live marshals over the last 3 or 4 races, they really haven't thrown them very much. They only throw them when when a car comes to a stop and it can't get to an exit. And with these smaller fields, and it gets spread out on some of these larger tracks, the yellow flags have been few and far between here. Okay, they're just wrapping up qualifying now. We look to see how many cars we have here today. Nice turnout. And the one driver I wanted to talk about, we're going to head, it's Errol Noem. Now, he's driving for Bush Fink Racing Red. Let's see who his partner is today. He's teamed up. Oh, that's right. We talked about now, it looks like he's teamed up with Craig Williams. There's also Matthew Catella is also in there, but I'm not sure if he's going to be racing. Nope, that's the next one down. Sorry. So it's Num and Williams. Errol Nums we know from the Absolute Beginner League, where he races a Skippy, and he is untouchable there. In fact, they've started their season, I believe it's season number 7 or 8, something like that. So far, he's 3 for 3 so far. So that is a real ringer. We've never seen him in a car with fenders before. Something to keep an eye on. Remember, there's driver swaps. We don't know who they're going to put out first. Sometimes they put out their ace. Sometimes they put out the yeoman driver. Sometimes the ace starts and finishes. We don't know. Qualifying just wrapping up right now. 17 cars all together. That's a pretty good field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up there in the Mustangs. And that leaves about 10 down there in Sean's class. Sean, the draft should be a big factor for those little Miatas today. I don't know if you're going to see much breakaways.
Well, I'll tell you what, the closing rate is incredible, Sue. Again, I put in a fair amount of practice yesterday, and I can tell you, a lot of draft to be found here. It's going to be fun. We've got a lot here in the ST class today, and it's going to be side-by-side racing. I don't think you're going to see a lot of breakaway. In fact, look for the train to be out today. The old Truly train should make an appearance at some point today.
That'll be a rolling start. They'll break the class up by about 15 or 20 seconds. They'll separate them a little bit at the start. So we'll be able to cover a lot of the action up front with Ayrton and I will be on the Mustangs, and we'll drop back to Sean and pick up the start of the ST group. Qualifying is done. Let's go ahead and call out your order here. All right, Ayrton, you and me will take it a row at a time. Bush Fink Racing Red, Bush Fink Racing Blue, sitting on top, 1 and 2. Sounded a little bit like Dr. Seuss there. Who you got for the next row?
Well, flying toward its Motorsports going to be in 3rd place, and alongside them, it's Extreme Motorsports, number 2.
Then it's the Extreme Motorsports #1 team, and then a great fan of ours, Slow Johnson. We're a big fan of Slow Johnson Racing, sitting down there rounding out row 3. Sean, who do you got at the top there in the ST group?
Well, that's going to be Team Potato, North America, starting there in the ST class. We'll start on the pole for them. Progression Racing Australia. We'll start on the outside of that, second there in the ST class.
Team Potato is our favorite to win here today. They got some hot shoes in there. 49 Motorsports, that's the A team. That's your points leaders sitting there on the inside of row 5. On the outside of row 5, Asbury Motorsports, that's car number 74.
All right, and then we're going to have Asbury Motorsports number 75. Going to start back there on the inside of the row, row 6. Mama Jean Racing in the GS class. I'm guessing maybe they were off pace or didn't take it. I'm not sure why they're back there in 12th suit.
That's Brett Trozine having a hard time there. We'll keep an eye on them. Asbury Motorsports, that's the car sitting in the 13th spot, row 7 on the inside. Outside of them, rising from the ashes in row 7, Phoenix Racing.
All right, and then we've got 49 Motorsports C starting there on the inside of row 8. Team S.
Go ahead, say it.
Team Scum, 16th, and 17th there's going to be Extreme Motorsports starting the back of the field today.
I'm sorry if I just can't get my heart behind Team Scum.
It always, how long have I been doing these races, and it always catches me off guard every time I see it. I'm like, yeah, that is their name.
Well, there's something fishy about it because it's like some capitals and some lowercase letters in there, so maybe it's something that we don't understand. Maybe we can talk to them. Okay, Aaron, got a couple teammates out in front there. The Bushfink red and blue out front. We'll see how well they play together. Only 5 Mustangs. Somebody is missing on the inside. Is it on the inside?
Yeah, Extreme Motorsports 2, driven by Jeff Jacobs, starting in the pits.
Oh, my. Keep an eye on that. All right. Gather up the chickens. Are they going yet? There they go. Oh, here comes the start. Got your chickens gathered up? Taking cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. Bushfink red leads them down into the first corner. ST is green. Sean, what do you got?
We got Giuseppe Iannucci breaking out of the box all the way up to the rumble strips and heading down to turn 1. Through turn 1, here they go. First chicane.
Oh my, they still sorting it out behind them.
Side by side, just behind them. Fittis and Hartley.
That's Fittis for Progression Racing Australia. Moves up into second. Robert Hartley back there for 49 Motorsports into third. 4th and 5th, Sonny Ketchen for Asbury. That's the number 74 team. Rounding out the top 5, always fast, James Stevenson for the other Asbury team. Moss is chicken. Look at that, they're stringing out.
Early.
We'll stay on this a little bit because honestly, up front of the Mustangs, they're pretty much strung out 5 cars, especially with Extreme Motorsports 2 starting from the pits. Not sure what that was all about. The action right now, still up there in Sean's class.
Yeah, James Stevenson on the hunt already looking at the back of Thomas Sabo. And up front, it's still Iannucci, followed very closely by Fittis.
Okay, let's peek in on the Mustangs. Give us a yell, Sean, if there's a pass up there. Aaron, what are you looking at up there?
Well, first off, just noting that Mama Jean Racing actually didn't start the race. Extreme Motorsports 2 came from the pits, trying to run up through the MX-5 field at this point. Actually, just had a little bit of contact with a MX-5 driver. Don't know who that was. Daniel Kruger at the back of the field. But in the front, it looks like actually Craig Williams has already got a little bit of a gap after a single lap, just a few car lengths. But they're already strung out at this point. You don't want to be going for too many passes because some of these chicanes really slow you down when you try to go side by side.
Craig Williams out in front right now for Bushfink Racing Red. Remember, all he wants to do is keep that car clean so he can turn it over to the driver that I can't wait to see behind the wheel of a big car with fenders. Aero numb. We call him the Rolling Estonian. That's because he is really something to watch. Now we look at Craig Williams. There we go. Russell Ruddick running in third as we take a look at those Mustangs. 5 of them up in front, still all in touch with each other. Sean, what's going on in the ST? Looked like somebody making a peek for the lead there.
Yeah, he's trying. Definitely looking at it, but it's been a good battle here up front. Now we're side by side. Iannucci, Fittis.
That's Fittis and Iannucci. Iannucci's going to hold him up, but Fittis took a peek inside there.
Yeah, that's a nice job there by Iannucci. He was able to hold him off, and Fittis still on the attack, but right back there's Robert Hartley still hanging in the battle there for 49 Motorsports. Kind of what we talked about, nobody running away from each other. Oh, Iannucci has a bit of a slip. Fittis able to get by him on the inside. Oh, Fittis going to get that position into the chicane.
I think Iannucci back there saying, go ahead, take that spot. I don't think you're going anywhere. I'll just tuck into your toe. For newcomers to the series, I know that we're racing here in Italy. You would think that Giuseppe Iannucci might have an advantage, but actually he hails from New York. I picture him owning a pizza parlor. I hope that's the case. But right now they are 1, 2, 3, 4. Fittis, Iannucci, Hartley, and Szabo. Sean, what I wanted to point out to you is one of the factors in the race that we did early in the MX-5 World Tour was so much of the race was decided by slowdown penalties, and man, you can get them here easy, can't you?
Boy, it's so easy to drop a couple of wheels and pick it up. Yeah, definitely. And right now we see Iannucci back on the attack here, heading through the kink down into the first chicane. He's going to get that. Got to get on the brakes hard here, down about third gear probably. All the way out to the rumble strips, back to the inside and left. Wow. Nice run by Iannucci there.
A little bit of action in the Mustang field, though. Side by side for second place, James King is getting passed by Matthew Catilla. Tried to go on the outside, couldn't quite get it for that corner.
That's King running in second for Bush Fink Blue. And then I think behind it, I think it's Russell Ruddick back there running there for
my mistake.
Flying Motors. That's okay. I've done that many a time. Let's go, Ayrton, over to something that may interest you. Let's drop over to Jeff Jacobs right now, because he's working his way through the leaders in the ST cast. Remember, Jacobs started in the pits. Here he comes. He just got around Stevenson.
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem for the ST class right now. These guys are still fighting for position here early in the race, and Jacobs is trying to make his way up very carefully through the field. Stevenson all over his bumper there, out of the right-hander, up the hill.
The biggest problem here is that the MX-5s are so much more flexible on these chicanes. The Mustang really struggles if he doesn't get that line right. He's really slow coming out of the corner, and so you see these MX-5s just like staying on top of him.
Yeah, those little nimble MX-5s are good through there. Now he gets around one more. And of course, Sean, these guys don't want to lose touch with each other, so Stevenson happy to let Pajan happy to let the guys go, but he can't lose touch with what's going on ahead of him.
Well, and that's the problem it presents. Look what it's done. It has broken up this field just a bit. It's going to break them up a little bit more. Hopefully here they can catch the toe just behind him. Szabo, Stevenson, and Pagnon don't want to lose it. Looks like they're going to be okay. And Jacobs is going to get around on the outside there, heading through the kink here and down into Drugardo.
Jacobs teamed with Chris Ford. Not sure why he started. Maybe there was a penalty that he had to serve. Maybe somebody can let us know about that. But look what's happened here, Sean. With that, now it's split up into groups of 3. You got Iannucci, Fittis, and Hartley. They're trying to leave behind Szabo, Stevenson, and Pajan.
Boy, Iannucci got off to a great start. Had a little bit of a battle there with Fittis, but really seems to have found his line again and has been able to keep just a little bit distance between him and Fittis.
Let's go second in the Mustangs. Here we go. We have a pass. This is James King being challenged by Ruddick. Not going to get it done. Just peeking at him.
Yeah, don't want to try making a pass in that corner. Looks like Ruddock might have gotten a slow exit out of that corner, and Matthew Cotillo's going to look to the outside, but doesn't have a great run. He might be able to get onto the inside for the next corner coming up. Decides to back out.
Cotillo doing a nice job of keeping that car up front. Looks like he's a solo effort today. It's just Matthew all by himself. I don't see a partner with him. I guess that's good. He'll have nobody to blame but himself. Right now, running at fourth, hanging on the back of Russell Ruddock. Looks like Ruddock has actually 3 teammates. Michael Burgett and Travis Davis. You think Michael's just the spotter, maybe?
Yeah, he has no practice laps in. These guys are all staying very close, and meanwhile, while they've been pressuring each other, Team Bushfink, red team, Greg Williams has gone to 5-second lead already.
Williams happy to do that. Out there all by himself with a long time before he's going to be seeing any lap traffic as well.
Yes, sir, guys. Here we go. Gene Fitta is looking to the inside there. Vianucci heading down to Trugardo. Going to make his way out of turn Borello. Going to take that lead from Vianucci. With a nice run. He had that long straight to work with there as they went across the start-finish line. He was able to set him up for that move.
Fittis, Iannucci, and Hartley need to really behave themselves here, and they can make this a 3-car battle instead of a 6-car battle. Let me give you a little interval time from Robert Hartley back to Thomas Zabel, who's trying to run them down. It's 2.1 seconds. That's the interval between 3rd and 4th. The good news is for Zabel's team running there for Asbury Motorsports in that number 74 machine is he's got Sonny Kanchan coming in, and Kanchan is on fire. Kanchan is just amazing. Call him Butter because he's on a roll. He has won like 7 out of the last 8 races in the MX5 World Tour. Won one again today.
I was about to say, he just won one today and had a pretty good run here at Imola already. So, it's going to be pretty fun when he gets in the car.
There was a change in the GS class. Flying Tortoise Motorsports driver Russell Ruddock actually had a little mistake coming out of Mineral. Got a little bit of spin and had to save the car and lost position for 3rd place.
So King now has distanced himself. Now the battle is between those 2 guys, Matthew Catilla for Extreme Motorsports and the car that Ayrton just talked about, Russell Ruddock racing for Flying Tortoise Motorsports. Ruddock, though, not happy with the situation right now, trying to find a way around.
Yeah, they're heading up to the 2nd chicane of the lap. Gonna come down. Some late wide exits coming out, and yeah, both those guys don't have great exit, and Ruddock's gonna be able to get back around.
Ruddock was a little less wide than Cotillo. Yeah. The guy who had the best exit was George Johnson, who now pulled up behind all of them.
Yeah, he's been keeping these guys within his sight. Hasn't made any moves yet.
Give a shout out to George Johnson. He just got stationed in Korea. I'm assuming South Korea. If he got stationed in North Korea, I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
But he's out there, so it would probably be a little early morning for him, maybe 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. George, look at this. George having a good run in 5th, looking to maybe take that spot.
You know, back here in the ST class, it's still about 2 seconds is the difference between these 2 packs we've got right now. The top 3 and the second 3. They have not caught him, not lost distance on him yet, Soup, but it's still hard to make up any ground because they're all running about the same speed. Lap times very comparable.
Well, it's 1.7 now from Hartley back to Zabel. It was 2 when we last talked about it, so they're closing them in a little bit. That 2nd train, Zabel, Stevenson, and Pajan. My goodness, what's some big names in here for fans that aren't familiar with this series. These are top quality names, all top 6 here. And remember, these 6 all go away and they bring back 6 more names that are just as fast.
Yeah, that's true. They've got to catch Hartley's draft. I think they're close to doing it. They're going through Rivaz now. We'll see as they make the exit out. They might be able to close them down a little bit on the front straight.
I must say that the MX-5s are not using up the track quite as much as the bigger Mustangs are. I wonder, Sean, do you think the curbs are a little kinder to the Fords than to the Mazdas?
Ooh, I didn't do any time in the Ford. I would think not, actually. I would think the curbs are less forgiving to the Ford than they are the Mazda. Yeah. Iannucci up to first, takes that position away, and in the second turn in the chicane, Fitt is back to second. Hartley enjoying the popcorn position today, Sue.
And a lot of talk from the race stewards. Between Elliott Hoffman coming back, doing a lot of talking. I can't make it out, but doesn't seem like anyone's going to get spanked. Aaron, what's going on up there? Let's leave this exciting battle. Let's not look at. Oh, you can see those on that long shot there from Dougie Beard. You can see him starting to turn it into a 6-car train. What's going on with the Mustangs?
Not much right now. The lead for Craig Williams right now has went up to 6 seconds, and now James Keenan, he's managed to get about 2.5 second lead ahead of the 3-car pack behind him. But those guys they've kind of got a little distance between them now. Not going for any moves at this point. Maybe they realize they need to kind of stop fighting so much and get back on track to catch up to the leaders.
Well, we talked about Aero Numb being the partner of Craig Williams, and again, we're not sure how good Numb really is. We only know that he's good in the skipping. He could be not nearly as effective.
Sorry, Soup. Iannucci with some trouble back here. Tell you what, he had trouble in Variante, and now he's back to third. Hartley gets around. Fitt breaks away. Let's check it out on the replay here real quick. Follow Iannucci here.
The question is, did he get a slowdown penalty to go with this? No, I don't think so. This thing was a bad exit.
Maybe so, but that drops him to third. Hartley up to second.
Well,
for the first time today, in fact.
It drops him to third, but it puts him much closer into the clutches of the mad Hungarian, and that is Thomas Zabel, who's now got that gap down to 1.5 seconds. Zabel back there, Stevenson doing nothing, and Pajan just running 4th, 5th, and 6th, happy to stay in line. Following back up on the Mustangs, we were talking about Aero Numb being the partner up there. Remember Bushpeak Racing Blue? The teammate for James King, he's going to turn that car over to Mika Eshouse, and that's your overall points leader. So that's pretty nice. James just wants to keep that run in second right now, Aaron. 3 seconds back. All he has to do is put in 45 minutes. That's his job. He may want to run a little longer, but then he can turn it over to the guy who's been fast all season, and that's Mika.
Yeah, and we'll see if he'll be able to close the gap on Aero Numb. 7.7 seconds at this point. It's going to be a tough task.
That's the beauty about this series. It is driver swaps. Kind of why the car counts are a little smaller, because when you run a series like this, when you try to organize it, you need twice the membership. Each car takes at least 2 drivers. Although do we have a couple solo artists out there today? Running in 4th right now, Matthew Catilla. Look at that great lip shot up there. There's Catilla running in 4th with George Johnson right behind him. George also, I believe, a solo effort. So a couple guys doing some Iron Man work.
Yeah, it definitely takes an Iron Man at this track. This is a very demanding track. 1, because it's very fast. 2, because of the chicanes, and 3, because of the focus it requires just getting through technical portions like those chicanes, and you're on the brakes hard here in several spots, and it requires an awful lot of focus. 2.5 hours is a long time to keep that focus, Super.
Yeah, and I'll button here, and it's not even like the chicanes are even similar. They're all very different in their own right, so having to adjust your braking zones for each different chicane is a real challenge.
Of course, all of the announcers are calling from different locations to sound like we're all together. I don't want to pull the curtain away, but Sean's in Texas and Ayrton is in his dorm room. And what college you going to there, Ayrton?
Drexel University. I'm in Philadelphia.
Drexler? Is that what you said?
Drexel.
Drexel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in California, where we just had an earthquake, as I'm talking to you right now. A little rumble this went by.
But you mean like 30 seconds ago?
I guess right when I started to say we're all in separate locations. It was a little rumbler. Hopefully, it was just a little one right under my house and not a big one 300 miles away. So, good news is I'm still online.
Way to bring the room down, sir. Literally.
What's this look? I think I was at the epicenter there. I think my hot water. Whoa, my!
Gene Fittis with a little bit of trouble out of the chicane. Boy, but able to save the car and stay in the lead, not lose any ground. Hartley not able to take advantage of that as they head down into Ravazza.
That gap still about the same. Zabel not able to really make it up much now.
Yeah, they're just missing the tail end of the draft in front of them. Just missing it. Zabel got a nice run right there. I don't know, he's a little bit closer, but still, it's just shy of catching the tail end of that draft.
Okay, I'm reading the minds of the other guys, everyone watching right now. I know we have 2.5 hours. Maybe we can show some of the other cars. Let's do it. How about Phoenix Racing and Brian Cartier? They're running in 13th position overall. In class, he would be racing, whether that be 7th. There we go. And he's in a little bit of a battle there. He's got Chris Houston right behind him.
Yeah, and they've been solid. They've been hooked up since this race got started, and they're working together. Houston may be able to save a little bit of fuel when he gets close to him. And Soup, we can't forget about that. Fuel can certainly become an issue here. A little bit of strategy going to be played into that. This is a long track, and let's face it, 2.5 hours. You've got to be thinking at some point you might be able to do a little bit of less fuel. And boy, watching that battle between Houston and Cartier. Cartier gets it out all the way to the sand, able to gather it back up, bring it back in.
And then we go back to the car in 15th position overall. Racing for Team Southern California University of Mozart. I think it's a classical music school there. Their nickname, Team Scum, but I think I have the acronym right there. Joe McDonald doing solo effort today.
That was my second choice for school.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know where Joe might have picked it up, but got just a little bit of damage on the left front of that car, so might be off pace just a bit. It doesn't look too bad. Hopefully, it didn't knock that wheel out of tow.
And then one more, we didn't catch this one. Daniel Kruger racing for Extreme Motorsports 3.
He was actually just recently lapped by the race leader, Craig Williams, so looks like lap traffic already coming into play.
I like the way that Extreme Motorsports, they have Extreme Motorsports 1 and 2 racing in the Mustangs, and then they keep things nice and simple for me. They have 3 racing down in the ST class. I think the only team to actually put cars in both classes. Yeah, I think it is. 49 Motorsports would sometime venture up there in the Mustangs. Every once in a while, Dexter Castro would launch a team up there. So far this season, though, 49 Motorsports have been putting their main attack in the ST group and doing a good job of it with that number 49 machine out in front of the point standings.
Well, Gene Fitt is still holding on to the lead here, and things have held station right now. Fitt is still in the lead. Hartley holding down second. Giuseppe Iannucci is in a good spot right now. It's been able to take care of the car. Hadn't any incidents here lately, but again, the top 3 hold station. They've actually opened up that battle a little bit back to their rivals there in that second group there, Sue.
Let's go look at Daniel Kruger again. I think we're going to give out a bear claw at the next Backmarker United meeting. He did a great job of letting the first 3 Mustangs go by. Running back there. Tail of the entire field. Now he's going to let these guys, that's Matthew Catilla, get by. And then he's got one more Mustang, Slow Johnson Racing, George Johnson, to get around.
Oh, Hartley's taking over the lead from Fittis.
Let's cover that one.
Yep, did it out of the last chicane. They're heading down into Ravazza now.
We're going to get this one on replay. Let's see if he just did it or was it a mistake. Looked like he just wanted it. Oh, no, look at Fittis had a moment, didn't he? We're going to go on board with Gene. Look, he got the curbs, got him. Doing some work on the wheel there.
That's what we call a GSRC moment.
Good news, it wasn't a slowdown penalty, so he's able to hang with them. And he only falls back. Actually, he only lost 1 spot, didn't he? He didn't even fall back behind Iannucci.
Yeah, just that 1 spot.
But
Still hanging on to it. Hartley's still hanging on to that lead, though.
But look at the interval now. It's almost 3 seconds up to Zabel. Zabel he's got to just keep pace, stay as close as he can. Now, Ayrton, where are our leaders? Are anywhere close to getting up here behind the Miatas yet? Starting to run up. They're coming up on Joe McDonald here.
Oh, Zabo under threat here. Stevenson right up alongside of him. I'm sorry, that's Pagnon. Stevenson's back there watching. And Marcelo going to get around. Get that spot away. That's the first time we've seen that group change positions.
Yeah, Marcello might be saying, we're losing touch here. I think maybe Zabel's reputation might have played a factor there in Pajan saying, right behind Thomas because I know you're faster than me, but it's not happening.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, let's try a different strategy, guys, because the one we've been trying here for about 7-8 laps, it ain't
not working.
So, yeah, let's try something else. It's like we're taking on water. Somebody starts scooping water out. We got to go, guys.
It's nice to welcome Ayrton back to do a broadcast. He's got 5 cars in the Mustangs, and they're pretty much all spread out now.
Yeah, might as well just sit around, have a cup of tea while driving.
Okay, battle for the lead. Battle for the lead. Here comes Fittis. Gonna pin Hartley down there to the inside as they came across the start-finish line. Here they go through turn 1, heading down to the first chicane.
Oh!
It's gonna be Fittis and Hartley side by side.
Hartley was not going to give up the ghost there. Fittis had the inside position. Hartley fought back forever. Hartley really struggling.
Watch out, Hartley. Watch out. Iannucci all over his bumper. Going to look to make a new move in Villeneuve. Not really. No, he's going to back off.
A new move in Villeneuve?
Yeah, it didn't roll off quite as smooth
I
as
love
I
it.
wanted to, but yeah, I did say that. Boy, look, wow, that really opened things up for Fittis there. He's off and running. I struggle with this section of the track right here, Soup, so mightily. All the way downhill. I can't ever seem to get the car slowed down just right. I always wind up spinning her out or all the way off into the sand. These 3 are professionals, though, and I'm just despair. So they prove that getting through there not as hard as I make it sound. But Fittis really jumping out to a nice lead here.
Okay, well, here's the story. And all you watching from New Zealand, send your cards and letters care of Joe Peak to GSRC. But Gene's picked up a nickname here, and it's Gene Can't Finish Fittis. He really is fast, but he has a hard time bringing the car home at the end. So right now his goal is just to keep that car out there. He doesn't need to finish the race this time. My apologies. Gene does need to finish the race as he's soloing it today. And look at this. There's going to give it up.
Hartley back on the attack now.
I think, Fetus got really cockeyed there.
Hey, you can drift this car here. Saving it's the trick, though.
We've been racing for 28 minutes, and the Mustangs still have not made it around yet. Their lap times are only about 6 seconds faster.
Yeah, Williams should be getting pretty close within the next few laps now. He's going to catch up to the duo of Chris Hickson and Brian Carter, probably within this lap.
This little battle here has been really, Houston and Cartier have been doing a great battle. 13th and 14th overall, 7th and 8th in class.
Yeah, again, they Houston and Cartier, they're really again, they've been working together here. There's I think a little bit of a plan going on between these two. They've kept close contact with each other and got a nice little race going on. Haven't had to battle anybody but the track, to be honest with you. They've got a good smooth run going here.
Now Houston again doing it all by himself today. Cartier, his job is just to turn that car over to George Fike. And honestly, Fike and Cartier, those are two drivers that would be equally... I'm not really sure who your fast driver is there between those two guys. I think they probably had to flip a coin.
While your leader there is catching him, Williams is in the picture. You look back down the track there, you see him coming up over the hill.
Good news, Ayrton, for Williams is he has 12, almost 13 seconds back to James King for Bushfink Racing Blue. So he doesn't have to be overly aggressive here.
Yeah, he can take his time. Probably slow down, give him a high five while he passes by.
Or a word I actually learned from you from one of your broadcasts. He doesn't need to be overly confident in going through these cars. A nice way to say aggressive without actually saying aggressive.
Yeah, I think the big factor traffic is going to come to play when these Mustangs catch up to the 3-car MX-5 battles, because you don't want to be getting in between those, and like the chicanes make it really difficult to pass easily on this track.
Sabo wall all the way off in the dirt there out of Villeneuve.
What race control? Boy, they are, for having no yellow flags being thrown, the race control is very active over the microphones right now, telling the Mustangs that they've caught the next set of MX-5s. Williams now, oh, look at this though. Let's go to this Williams. We're seeing it on screen right now. Now he's in the middle.
Oh, can Cartier take advantage of this? Nah.
Boy. And the race stewards coming over the mic and saying, very nice, genteel etiquette is the words they used for Chris Houston, who gave a wide berth to the Mustang leader. Well, boys, that's the first one, but there's 4 more coming.
Well, it's 13 seconds back.
Meanwhile, out in front in the ST class is really who's leading. It's lap de jour, Sean. That's your line.
It's the lap de jour for the leaders here. Hartley got the lead right now, but here we go. Out of Ravazza, they are up the front straight now, and it could be anybody's battle once they get all the way down to turn 2 and make their way out of Tamburello. Here we go. Fit is all over Hartley. He's going to look to make a move. Might try to outbrake him. It's early in this race. You got to be safe, got to be smart. There are no fast repairs. Don't want to take too many big chances.
Now remember, Iannucci was out in front early, but he didn't stay out there for too many laps. Ever since then, Giuseppe's been sitting back behind these guys. Remember, they all start with the same amount of fuel, so in theory they use the same amount of fuel, but that's not necessarily the case if you're in the draft for 45 minutes, and that's what Giuseppe has been doing.
Yeah, and you know, he was digging kind of hard there early. You don't want to make these tires angry. They're not very big, Soup, and you want to, you know, you can't abuse them here because of the hard braking zones and the chicane. So better to kind of ease back. Nothing lost, nothing gained right now by sitting in third. The battle is right there in front of him, and so is the track. He's still got a lot of time here, just under 2 hours to manage that situation and try and hand over a good, clean car to his partner.
And back in fourth position, Szabo has got back around Pajan. And again, another driver that's back there watching the whole thing happen is James Stevenson.
Yeah, usually used to seeing Stevenson attacking, but not today. Playing a little smarter. We'll see how that strategy pays off for him.
Stevenson, part of the newly formed Aussie posse there between two Australians. Stevenson, of course, fellow Aussie Richard Losper.
Craig Williams
So
is probably going to...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Looked like Pajan actually has dropped now down behind those guys. Stevenson has moved up into fifth.
Craig Williams is probably going to catch up to these guys next lap. Be interesting to see how he deals with that, how they deal with it.
James King, probably before that happens, I think James King's going to come up behind this battle of Houston and Cartier again. Oh, Cartier gets loose. And now he's going to lose touch with Houston finally.
That's a shame.
Yeah, through those final corners leading back onto the main straight, those two left-handers.
You need your dance partner.
And I always try to tuck in behind him. I always think I'm going to tuck in behind the Mustang as they go by, and it's going to suck me along at great pace, but that never happens.
Guys, Fittis losing touch just a bit. Iannucci able to get around him. And the front two are starting to pull away just a bit. I think I missed it. Fittis might have had just a bit of a moment.
Well, I think he lost his rhythm a couple times. I think he just needs to take a deep breath and settle down. Big news is that gap, the leaders is up to 3.5 seconds now from third back to fourth. They can still see him. Szabo, Stevenson, and Pajan.
There's Iannucci. He looked to the inside there, Hartley, for a moment, then settled back in line.
Now the Mustangs pretty soon will be coming up onto their pit window. They seem to run a little bit less time on fuel. Usually they have to come in early. The Miatas can run a bit longer.
Yep, only 2 stops throughout the race. Mustang should be coming in within the next 10 minutes or so. We'll see who decides to switch drivers during that pit stop.
Oh.
Iannucci taking a look to the inside, and there they go, battling down the front stretch, down through turn 1, heading to the chicane. Iannucci going to take the position away. We're going to see a crossover. Not today, not now. That little battle actually was benefit there for Fittis. He's losing that group, but was able to gain just a little bit there with the side-by-side going on.
Iannucci out in front. Let's see. Oh, now he gets a nice run there through the little left-right S combination there. I was going to be surprised if Iannucci was going to be able to keep the lead when they came around for the start-finish line, but I think he's going to hold on to it.
Boy, what a nice recovery by Gene Fittis, man. He had really lost that group, fallen to about a second back, and now he's back to the battle.
All right, here comes our leader.
Go ahead,
Here comes the Mustang leader coming up now. He wants to make this clean and simple. Pajan, Stevenson, and Szabo, Ayrton. That's who he's got in front of him.
As they come through Paratella. I don't know if it's a good idea to make a move going into Au Mineral. This is a tough place on the track because you don't have long enough straights to really get past some of these cars. He's going to be able to get by Marcelo Pajan.
Gets one. He's getting a little bit of coaching from the race stewards there. But now what Pajan does not want to do is lose contact, and that's kind of what's happened. Pajan had to yield a little bit to let the Mustang by, and now the Mustang's going to blow by the other two drivers on the straight. And what that has done is that's taken Pajan away. He's going to really have to work, Sean, if he wants to get back onto the tail end of Stevenson.
Better hurry up.
It's about a second back. Probably just catching the toe right there.
Just catching it. We saw Fittis fall back like that up front, but he was able to gather it back up and get there. Craig Williams, though, able to get by, and now he's working on our leaders, who are now heading down in to the first chicane. All three get through clean. Williams, though, I'll tell you what, that was a wild trip through Williams, through the chicane there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how friendly these guys are, how accommodating Iannucci and Fittis and Hartley are going to be when Williams gets up there. I think they realize that Williams has a 15-second lead. I can easily see it. You'll just have to wait. You'll get around us when it works for us.
It looks like he might split them up here. It's heading into Paratella. Just blanking on the name.
And that's Hartley that really got crushed there now. I think Hartley gave that up so easily. I feel like he really feels confident with his pace, Sean, that I don't think he thinks he has to worry about staying with these guys.
Yeah, well, he knows he's got to get through them too, so just got to keep the car close. And we see Fittis there move.
What is that move?
He's letting him by. That's going to let Iannucci have to deal with him in the chicane.
And this is going to be easy for Iannucci. Just has to keep his line. And not verge right as he's going by.
Oh, which way are we going? Which side of the track do you want me on?
Well, that's one of those hard parts where the racing line kind of comes across. And that's one of those things when you're in the slower class, eventually you want to make your way across, but you probably don't want to do it right in front of the Mustang. So now, Iannucci trying to get onto the back of that Mustang, get a little bit of a tow as much as he can. And he's opened up a 1 second lead over Fittis. Well, Giuseppe, if you have been keeping anything tucked away, now might be the time to use it. See if you can get out there by yourself.
Oh, here we go. Battle back here between Payan and Stevenson. Payan going to take that position away from Stevenson as they head through the chicane and out of Tamburello. I'm sorry, I blew that, didn't I? Tamburello.
Just think tambourine.
That's it. I was thinking the same thing.
I know the name of the turn. I just stumbled there miserably. And we still have an hour and 49 minutes to go, guys. Sorry about that.
We'll be masters by the end.
Yeah, by the end of the race, you'll have it. Boy, the Mustangs are just spread out now.
Yeah, well, James Kinn's going to now have to go through all that Craig Williams just did within the next few laps.
Yeah, I think we'll watch King go through because that's some good excitement there. He's got 6 seconds on Russell Ruddock. They had a little bit of a fight there. Matthew Catilla doing a good job of hanging on the back of Ruddock for this whole first 40 minutes.
Yeah, it kind of closes up and stretches out. He hasn't made a move since that 3-car pack earlier in the race.
I've always, no, I'm going to stay away from it. Every time I hear Matthew Catilla's name, I want to hang a nickname on him, but I think better of it. Anyway, You know where I'm going with that, Sue.
Got to be careful with those nicknames.
Yes, I know.
Drivers are so sensitive. I'm not sure how well Gene Gotta Finish Fittis is going to sit, but we'll see.
Well, it's not looking too bad right now. He's still running. It's amazing. We saw the leader in the Mustangs get through and spread things out just a bit, but all it takes is a couple laps. So again, we talked about that draft here and how fast these MX-5s close on each other. You're
Pass
seeing
for
it now.
fourth.
Fittest.
Let's go
right
back.
there. Oh, yeah, another. I'm sorry, on that other battle. There we go. There's a pass.
Pajan getting around Zabo.
No, Zabo
Oh, my.
almost makes contact with the near end of the turn.
Boy, he closed up on behind him, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Hard on the brakes.
And now Stevenson. Stevenson, the only one who really hasn't led this pack. Again, probably saving fuel. Everybody's had a turn up front, though, and this Iannucci led early, and now he's leading late. Vitas certainly has been up front and hardly had his fair share in the lead.
In fact, with all of my timing and scoring, do I get that information? I guess I don't.
A lot of things I can know, apparently that's not one of them.
They're keeping it from you, Sue.
I got time. It tells me everything. I know what color underwear some of these drivers are wearing, but I guess I cannot tell you how many laps they have led. Right now, James King working his way up. Behind Stevenson, Zabo, and Pajan. King, of course, in his fast black undies.
Do you see what you did there, Sue? James King, Stevenson.
Oh, did I do that? Look.
My mind is wandering. Oh, no.
And it's probably the best spot for the Mustang to come across the MX-5. You got plenty of launch strikes. Probably just going to get by all three of them on the front stretch.
Right on board with the King right now, looking at those three little tiny MX-5s ahead of him.
That's one.
It's going to be close. He's going to make it.
2 and 3.
You know, I was starting to think, he's running out of time there. Just, got to be careful.
Almost missed the corner.
Yeah, and does he get a slowdown penalty there? Ooh. He's still going. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have to slow it down. But he was all the way over, wasn't he, Ayrton?
I'm not exactly sure. I know he had a really late entry, so...
That'd be really annoying to get a slowdown penalty after you just got around the three guys. You have to slow down, run it by, and then go to...
Yeah, then round two.
Now, I have found that you can run those slowdown penalties out for just a little bit, and, if you can get to a chicane, you can make up a lot of that slowdown penalty in a chicane. It's sometimes wiser to just stay wide open and make your way to the next chicane, and, like I said, then take your bulk of your time there so you're not messing up anybody behind you.
Deuce Allen picked up a slowdown penalty in the afternoon. We have a pass for the lead in the MX-5s. Nope, just peeking in there. Iannucci and Fitt having a little fun. Allen had a slowdown penalty, and he was kind of close to the pit window, so he wanted to see if he could stretch it out long enough before serving it. And it ended up being a black flag, I guess is what he had to serve finally, and then he wanted to see how long he could make it go and try to get to the pit window. Didn't make it. iRacing took him off the track.
How long is it? The time until you get a black flag for it?
I think he said he had an 8-second slowdown penalty that turned into 16 seconds to 24, and then he thought he had maybe 2 laps to serve it, and he was trying to stretch it out. It's a good strategy.
Guys, as we approach a pit window here for the Mustangs, they are now coming up through the field.
And
the leaders here.
There's another lead pass as Fittis takes it over.
Russell Ruddock now making his way up through the traffic.
Oh, he's going to split them.
Woo! Ruddock.
Oh, is he going to...
Oh, careful, Russell!
Oh, boy!
Oh, a tiny bit of contact.
Oh, he was coming with a head of steam and almost got into Marcello Pajan there.
What a good job by Pajan, just hanging on to it. Here we go down to Villeneuve.
Russell beat tiptoeing a little more this time.
This is not what these guys want. They're trying to catch up to the second place driver.
And Cantilla's there too, guys. Can't forget about that. He's right in the mix. Right behind Zabo.
Yeah. That might have played a factor in why Russell Ruddock was in such a hurry there. Now Ruddock gets around, and I think that's going to bring Catilla along with him. Oh, look at Pajan leaves enough room in there. Catilla decided not to force it in and go too wide.
Guys, I'm hearing Chris Houston's in the pits.
There's Houston coming in.
Guys, James King making his way through the leaders here in the ST class right now.
We have a little excitement. Daniel Kruger just spun the car. All by himself. Looking for a little screen time. That's how you do it. Kind of nice. Look at the pavement that he goes across the grass. Then he's nice. He finds some pavement to turn the car around in.
Oh, he almost re-enters and nearly hits Matthew Catilla.
Guys, James King did make it by the leaders while we're rewinding that. Taking a look back on the replay here. There's Kruger on the grass trying to make his way back. Oh, boy, almost gets him.
All right, pit cycle going on here. George Johnson bringing it in for Slow Johnson Racing.
That's the first GS car to go into the pit so far. And he is driving alone, so no driver swap for him.
Now, probably hard to find somebody to race with in South Korea.
Yeah, let's get lonely in the team chat.
George is actually going to show up, do some racing in the iRacing Driver Association. That's a series run by some guys down in Australia. Races in the middle of the morning for us U.S. guys. Look at this battle that we have on screen right now. Catilla right behind Ruddock.
That's a couple teammates battling it out there. Extreme Motorsports really, really fighting hard here early in this race.
No, Russell Ruddock is part of Flying Tortoise.
We don't know why Ruddock has the extreme paint on, but yes, he is Flying Tortoise.
Yeah,
Probably
that threw
stole
me
it.
off, guys. Yeah, it's
Took away their car from them.
Honestly, on my screen it isn't, so I'm seeing a different paint than you guys. One more little. We love trading paints and bless them for the work that they do, but sometimes things go a little screwy. We really do our best to get the right schemes out there.
Yeah, these guys definitely don't want to battle at this point. We've been so close to their pit stops. They don't want to lose time on the track.
Ruddock coming in now. I imagine that we're probably going to see him do a driver change. He's got Travis Davis to go the rest
battle
of the
for
way.
the lead up in the SD class. Iannucci looking to the inside of Fitteds. Down into the chicane.
And what that's going to do is let Hartley get back in there. We'll keep an eye and see if they did make a driver's change there, but meanwhile, coming up behind these guys is Matthew Catilla. You know, that pit stop is probably going to play out really well that Ruddock just made, because Ruddock doesn't have to deal with these guys up here that Catilla is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the mindset that was going through his head, and now Catilla's like, oh, I should have thought of that.
Yeah.
Catilla also one-man driver. One-man team, rather.
Yep.
They're all one-man drivers.
Guys, and I know for our viewers here, I want you to look at certain sections in this track where you're starting to see a lot of trash on the track, a lot of sand in some areas. That's going to affect the handling of these cars and entry and exit in several spots. This is going to continue to develop as these cars, some of them get a little offline and bring some of that trash back up on track with them. It's going to be a problem as we get into the final hour of this race.
And the leader of the GS class has come in. Thank you, Aaron, for helping with that final letter. guess it was Amjad there who got that one in for me. All right.
Oh, and James King for the blue team coming in as well.
Are we going to get a new leader? Yes, we are. Sure enough, staying out there. Matthew Catilla going to stay out for a while.
Arrow Num coming into the car.
Num. All right, the Roland Estonian getting into the number 27 machine. Never seen him race anything with fenders before.
That's how far ahead Williamson was. He finishes his pit stop as I'm blanking on names right now. As James King came into the pits.
Yeah. Okay, so S-House now rolling out. Smoking the tires. Jacobs has come in.
Kevin C. Ford coming into that car.
Seems only appropriate in a Mustang that would be the new driver. Time the race steward's talking about people not cooperating. We have two guys minding the store here today.
Soup Iannucci's kind of opened up a little bit of the lead. He's at the track a couple of seconds now from Fittis and Hartley. But the battle just behind him here in the ST class, it hasn't changed. These three are still battling it out, working together. And Szabo leads that pack right now, and it's anybody's race right there, but they've still managed to keep each other together and work through this thing. But Stevenson seems to be the one that's holding all the cards right now. He's been content to sit back there in that spot and let those two work together up in front of him. Gotta imagine he's saving a little bit of fuel. There's gotta be strategy being played here early, Soup.
Well, I'm gonna steal a little information here as we look here at Catilla coming in that I heard from Elliot Hoffman. He made a good point. Now Elliot is one of the race stewards. Those guys running back there in 4th, 5th, and 6th have been a little difficult to get around. And he points out over the mic that they're all Asbury Motorsports drivers, probably racing the same setup, taking the same racing line, which is making it difficult maybe for some of the Mustangs to get around. As we look at it right now, we see that they're swapping position. That's Pajan going to head now, take 4th spot over Szabo and Stevenson. It looks like all of our Mustangs have come in now, I believe.
Yeah, Matthew Catilla doing his pit stop right now. Managed to lead a single lap before it into the pits.
There are bonus points for that.
Now, he was really close to the Flying Tortoise Motorsports car, so I wonder if he'll be able to come out around the same time. He's coming
right
across the finish line right now. Travis Davis going to zoom on by, so actually Flying Tortoise won out in that pit stop.
Traffic may have had something to do with that one. All right, so now let's give you a little bit, we're waiting for timing and scoring to update here. Your leader, Errol Num, in the Mustangs, racing for Busch Fink Red. Now, there's 1 hour and 33 minutes still to go. Let's call it an hour 30. The interval between Num and your points leader in the Mustangs, Mika Eschhaus, 22 seconds. Plenty of time if Eschhaus is just a little bit faster to be able to run down the Roland Estonian. Third place, Travis Davis.
Fourth place would be Extreme Motorsports 1 car.
Yeah, and then we have
Slow Johnson, I don't think has. Oh, actually, yeah, Slow Johnson Racing has pitted, so they actually came out ahead of Extreme Motorsports too.
Yeah, there we go. Well, Extreme Motorsports, really, we keep forgetting. I keep forgetting there are 6 cars really that are in the Mustangs. We have only been looking at 5 because Extreme Motorsports 2, currently driven by Kevin Ford, started in pit lane, so they're working their way up. They have a chance. It's 15 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that. It's 15 seconds to get to Slow Johnson Racing, and that's George Johnson.
Now they're reeling in Fittis here again. I'm sorry, Fittis is reeling in Iannucci again, guys. As they head through the turn here, and they have closed the battle back up. Iannucci letting off just a little bit and bringing the battle back to him. Let's run down that class now. The STs, Iannucci in the lead. Fittis sits in second. Robert Hartley a very close third to Fittis right now. Then we got to go back to Marcelo Pagnan in fourth, Thomas Sabo in fifth, Stevenson still sits in sixth, Cartier in seventh, Chris Houston sitting in eighth right now. Joe McDonald is in the pit. Houston's also taking a pit. And Daniel Kruger still on track, sits back there in 10th, guys.
Those are our first ST cars to come in for a stop. We're thinking that the leader got a slowdown penalty is what I'm hearing over the mic. Not sure which leader it was.
Yeah, that was Iannucci that got a slowdown penalty. Adam Ravaza.
Aero Num going to be lapping that 4th place ST battle.
There he goes. Aero gets around Pajan.
Aero Num already kind of setting the pace. He managed to put the fastest GS time down within his first lap coming out.
Wasting no time.
It's like passing the ST class, Tomas Szabo.
Yep.
Gone on the inside. Manages to complete it before Villeneuve.
And that's where I'm seeing a lot of dirt on the track there inside of Villeneuve. That's a mess through there.
Oh man, Mika Eshouse had a pretty big drift in the first chicane. I don't know if that's would definitely be replay worthy.
S-House running, here we go, running in second place in the Mustangs. There you go.
Those cold tires.
There we look at Mika.
Oh, Szabo had a moment in Minarelli. He's okay. He had a moment, though. Open the door there for Marcelo. Oh, Marcelo right up on him in the chicane. Szabo all the way out, over the grass and into the asphalt.
I actually almost think Pajan scared Szabo there. Almost like he was racing in his mirrors there. Those are 3 Asbury Motorsports cars. It's not, I know one driver who kind of is the leader of this group from Australia is not going to be happy if those guys get together. Initials are RL. You do the math. Oh, and almost I thought as they were going to pit in formation there. It's Pajan really closed up behind Szabo. Looks like Stevens is going to stay out one more time. He missed the memo.
I guess he did, but now that the top 3 do stay on tracksuit, they're still out here battling. Fittis is your leader, Hartley in second, Iannucci back to third, heading through Villeneuve now.
We'll see if they should be making driver swaps. All but the ones that are soloing.
Now here comes Zero Nom, our leader, gonna be catching up here at the SD class. Probably not in a good spot.
And I just don't know how much experience. I mean, he could have a ton of experience for all I know at this, but this could all be new to him as well. Working on lap traffic.
We catch him down here in Minarelli.
This is the name they're not familiar with. They are not familiar with Arrow Numb. Look at Arrow taking his time. He says, "I got 21-second lead. I can figure out where to do this."
Oh, it goes very wide out of that
jeez.
corner.
That's not going to help. That probably, boys, killed his chance of making the pass down this. Might have been able to get him here.
Yeah, he's
For
just
that
gonna
corner
have to,
exit,
he's
yeah.
just gonna wait to the straight now.
I love these two corners. Rivaza.
Yeah, they are nice. Sets you back out onto the main straight.
Oh, and here they come. Here. Oh no!
Oh, the fake out.
Oh boy, Hartley makes a late decision to stay on track. Just barely missed the barrier.
Mind game is being played there.
Just a bit. Let's look at the replay from above.
Yeah, it seems all fun and games for those three. I don't know if Numb was all that happy with it.
Iannucci, the only one to go in there. But Fittis and Hartley stay out. All right, Larson going to get in the car for Giuseppe Iannucci, Team Potato North America. Hearing Larson, the hot shoe in this group.
He is.
We're going to find out.
Actually, I believe he hails from England. I'm not sure he should be allowed to race for the North American team.
Well, that lap traffic actually cost Numb about 3 seconds to Mika Eshouse, who actually set down a new fastest lap, 159.2, which is only a few tenths off of the qualifying times.
Yeah, the gap was closing a little bit, and then Numb took a lot of time, so it was kind of hard to get a reading on it. And right now, Numb working his way around Cartier. It'll be interesting to see when S-House gets there, what he's going to do when he comes up to the back of these guys. They may be out of, actually, they may be out of the way because they all come into pit. He may not have to do them.
Yeah, S-House has got James Stevenson right ahead of him right now, but should be able to get him coming out of the chicane.
Okay, here we go, guys. The ST leaders are coming back around through Ravaza now. Will they go in the pit? Fittis is in the lead, and he's looking to go in. And yes, Hartley going to follow Fittis in. So our leaders in ST are now finally in the pit. James Stevenson still on the track. And Stevenson going to make his way in now. As Mika Eshouse makes his way by.
So now what we'll try to do, we'll pick up the car that was formerly driven by Iannucci. That's going to be Marlo Lawson. I guess it's going to be Pajan as the driver who's ahead of pitted. Look to see here. I guess it is.
Deuce Allen in the car for 49 Motorsports A. Gene Fittis going to stay in the seat. Stevenson still in the Asbury Motorsports 426. Deuce is
All right.
away. 49 Motorsports off the pit lane first, guys.
Pajan just coming around those final corners.
Fittis and Stevenson still sitting there pit. Fittis is away.
Watch Pajan. This is going to be close as Fittis is still not there. I think Pajan is going to get him. There goes Pajan. But
Okay, Stevenson's away now, guys.
But it looks like Deuce Allen is going to be your leader for 49 Motorsports.
Yes, sir. Boy, that was a great pit stop there for 49 Motorsports. Deuce getting on it hard early there. Had just a bit of a moment out of Villeneuve.
Well, remember, though, you never really know. It can be a pay me now or pay me later type thing. Allen could have short filled, saying, I'll get out here, see what my pace is like, and then when I have to come in for my splash and go, it'll be a little more splashy than the rest of you guys. Some of the other guys may have filled it up all the way to the top,
Yeah, I think that's what you certainly saw with especially Allen. Well, no, I'm sorry, not Allen, but with Larson and Fitties there, they were in for quite a while. So we'll see how that paid off for them. Now we didn't mention I think we mentioned it, but Canchin is in the Asbury Motorsports 74 now. Allen out to a nice lead though. Boy, picked up a full. Geez, is that a
Well,
full minute? I'm seeing a minute, Sue?
yeah. When I look at the pit times here for 49 Motorsports, it was a 40-second pit stop compared to 52, 55, 54 for Progression and Asbury and the guys farther down. So, yeah, I think this one he's gonna look for him to take a longer stop later.
I'm sorry, it was 3 seconds, not 3 minutes. Marlo Larson doing a good job, though, so far, getting in for Iannucci. Makes his way through the first chicane. Boy, nice, clean, fast trip through there. Man, team, the hot potato is in the car, Soup.
Another car that took a short stop was Pajan. So the two guys out in front, it's no coincidence that the guys who took the shortest pit stop, Allen and Pajan, are the guys who are ahead now.
You know, I do like hot potato soup. It does, doesn't it? Especially as we get into the fall here, winter going to be setting in soon, temperatures cooling off.
We used to race with Torque Chicken Racing, was always good. It made a nice meal. All right, so since the pit cycle is done, why don't we go ahead and run down the top 6 here of each class. We'll go ahead. Aeronum out in front, but this interval is now 18.3 seconds. Remember when we brought it up first, it was over 21. A lot of that was lost in traffic. Some of it's being lost during pace. He's got 18.3 seconds over Mika Eshouse. Pair of Bush Peaks drivers, it's red ahead of blue. Flying Tortoise Motorsports running in third. They're about 20 seconds back of second place. And they've got about 4 seconds on Extreme Motorsports 1, the solo effort of Matthew Patillo. Then you get to George Johnson running for Slow Johnson Racing. And little by little, Extreme Motorsports 2 with Kevin Ford behind the wheel beginning to run him down. Sean, what's the MX-5s look like?
Yeah, let's throw that down real quick. All right, well, we know we got Deuce Allen in the lead right now. Up there by about 3 seconds over Marcello Pagnan. He is now in second, and Marlo Larson, who got in for Giuseppe Iannucci, in third. Gene Fittis still in the car, back to fourth. After enjoying a lot of his time up there in the top 3, he is now in fourth after that pit cycle. Then we go back to Sonny Canchin in fifth in the Asbury Motorsports 74. James Stevenson hot on his tail in the Asbury Motorsports 426. Those two on track together and now having a little bit of good work together. And then we go back to Chris Hewson. He finds himself now in 7th. George Fike in 8th. Joe McDonald 9th. And Michael Key in 10th. We still have all the SD cars on the tracksuit.
Well, with that complete rundown of the field, I hope you were all taking notes at home and the pit stops out of the way. This looks like a good time for GSRC to take a little break. We won't be gone long. We'll be back before any action breaks out. So for a few moments, we're going to step away. Be back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing's coverage of the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series. This is the penultimate round from Imola. Right now, you're looking at Marcello Pajan racing for Asbury Motorsports, the number 75 machine. He is quickly being reeled in by Team Potatoes North American driver Marlo Lawson. Lawson is gobbling him up. That's a battle for second position. Ahead of both of those guys is John Deuce Allen for 49 Motorsports. That sets the stage there in the MX-5s. Quickly, let me talk you through what's going on in the Mustangs. Bush Fink Red out there has Arrow Numb. Remember, he had a 21-second lead. Well, that's down to 16 seconds as Mika S-House is a-coming. He should be able to get there before the end of this race. And then we're also watching George Johnson is being ran down by Kevin C. Ford in a battle for fifth. So there you have it. Sean, let's go to you right now. Let's go ahead and look at that Asbury Motorsports, because I think they're just working around the lap car of Joe McDonald.
Yeah, they are, and Joe had just had a moment just before they got around him, able to gather it up. They got by clean. Marcello is, I'll tell you what, he's under attack. Here comes Larson. Larson's been awful quick. He's had great pace ever since he got into the car, and he has now brought the battle here to Marcello, and as they head down here into the right-hander, got to be very careful. That's a good spot to pick up the slowdown penalty if you're not careful. They both get through clean. It's not going to be not going to be long before they get to Michael Key, also a lap car, and then just up the road from him, our leader, John Deuce Allen, who's throwing down some really hot laps right now. Soup. He's got great pace, and he's opened up his lead now to, what am I looking at? 5 seconds.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's in Marcello's nature, but if I was on the box, I'd be saying, hey, Marcello, why don't you let Marlo go by, tag on behind him, and see if he can take it up to Deuce? Because we're hearing from the peanut gallery that it's probably not his nature right now. So I think that as soon as Larson gets around him, that might be the best case scenario. Boy, this could be trouble. That was Key doing his best to stay wide. Now here comes Larson trying to look here on the outside. He'll have the outside through the first part, but he may have the preferred position. Nope. Just a matter of time, Sean, before that gets done, though.
Yeah, not if, when. Good job by Key. Yeah, it's not in his nature for Marcello. He's a bit of a hard nose out there on the track. He's going to fight this position. He's not going to just give it up to Larson. Larson's going to have to work here, and Larson taking the wider line through the turn. No distance lost, though. Great battle there on tracks.
Well, in contrast to Giuseppe Iannucci, Marcello Pajan actually does hail from Italy, so this is his home track. So I'm sure he has a lot of his two-dimensional fans in the stands right now cheering him on. Wants to race well for the home crowd.
Well, Arrow Numb's going to be coming up on them fairly soon, right after he gets by Michael Key behind them.
Key does a good job of getting out of the way.
Soup, I just put his name down for a Bear Claw also.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Deuce Allen has got to be loving this, because the longer that Larson stays behind Pajan, the more he can eke out that lead. Remember, we think that Allen's going to have to take more fuel on that next stop than Larson will.
Yeah, it really continues to open up for Allen. They're just getting out of Ravaza, and he's already up the straightaway, just about to go across the start-finish line.
Larson's stop was 46 seconds, and Allen's was about 7 seconds faster. Michael Key calling out some directions here for people to get around. Tells Gene Fittis where to go.
Here comes Larson in that battle. Looking to the inside, into the turn. He's going to take it.
He's got it now, but now that happens. Larson got that done. Well, no, he didn't. Pajan's still out in front, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a rough spot for Numb.
Yeah. And here comes Numb, right, Aaron?
just manages to get on by before the chicane.
Boy, they're really pushing the track envelope and bringing on a lot of sand back on the track from that corner.
Yeah, again, they're just laying a lot of dirt on the track right there. That's not a good spot to have dirt on the track either. You're doing everything you can to keep that car from swinging all the way out to the left, and the more sand you keep piling up there, the more that car just wants to run all the way out.
So let me give you this interval. Deuce Allen is rolling. It's up about another second since I looked at it last. It's about 7.8 seconds now over Pajan. Larson is just getting crushed here. He's got to get around Pajan, I think. Meanwhile, let's take a... We really want to get this one because I've been waiting for it to happen. Let's go to George Johnson real quick. Sean, interrupt me if there's a pass and when Larson makes his move. Johnson now is finally... Kevin Ford has ran him down. Extreme Motorsports had to start from the pits. Hasn't had a car to pass on the track all race.
No, this car didn't start from... Oh, wait, yeah, that did start.
Yeah, that was the one that started in the back. So finally, he gets to make a pass on the track of a car that is similar size and weight. Whoa! Kevin, that's not going to get you there. He loses time. And on the other one that we're watching, we can just watch this from the numbers. Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Larson looking to make a move. He's up on the outside. It's a drag race down into the chicane.
Look at Pajan squeeze him. Boy. Gonna get it done.
Yep, gonna get it done again. Larson again, not able to do it.
Pajan kept that car right in the middle and eased it over. Didn't let wanted to get his best kind of entry into that corner as he can. Deuce Allen's lead now up to 8.8 seconds. These are not teammates. This is Asbury Motorsports there in the 75 machine of Pajan and Larson for Potato.
Larson all over him right here up the hill. Marcello makes that rear bumper, that Mazda, pretty wide there, Sue.
As wide as a Julia Roberts spile, but now he gets a run. Lars, oh my, this is, I feel a little bit of help coming here pretty soon.
Yeah, it looked like Howie Long there, playing a little defense there in the middle.
I guess maybe that wasn't a block. It was kind of like a slow drift. Sometimes they call it the Sam Hornish drift, where you just kind of ease the car over, but Larson had a good run. A few more of those, and Pajan might be getting a little help.
And Fittis might be catching up, too. He's only 6 seconds behind at this point.
And here comes Mika Eshouse just behind him, guys. Oh, boy, here we go. Oh!
Had to wait for a mistake.
To the inside.
Oh, he's going to get a run on the exit.
Marcello just hooked right up there. He's going to take down to the inside now as they head across the start-finish line. Going to try to cross him over here, maybe.
Oh, my goodness. We'll stay on this one. I just want to update you. There is another battle going on that has taken no prisoners, and that's Kanchan and Stevenson. They've been banging each other. Suddenly we have excitement, and then back in the Mustangs, George Johnson being challenged now. I think that Kevin Ford's finally going to get this done here.
Not quite.
Ford is he going to be able to peek in and not going to be able to get it done? We got excitement now. It's been a while, but now we got it all over.
I'm sorry, Larson.
Oh, he lost it.
Marcello takes it back from Larson right after Eshouse got around them.
We'll watch this one on
replay.
replay.
Did it in Tosa.
Yeah, you know what, Sean? I think Larson was actually a little bit faster than the Mustang there. I think he got checked up a little bit. Look at this. He just kind of surrendered it.
Eshouse had a big moment on the exit of Variant Alta went really wide with a big slide. That's going to cost him a second or two.
And Ford finally got around Johnson. We tried to cover it. We were on him, so that's a pass. Johnson drops down to 6. Ford trying to stay with him. George trying to knock on Kevin's door, but Kevin being able to pull away now.
See if we can get a couple more Dylan references in here before the race is over. Another battle here. Larson looking to the inside of Marcello Payan. I did it again. Soup. I'm destroying this man's name.
Well, it's kind of his fault if he let the guy get around him. Larson has finally got that done. But what Ayrton was saying, Cummins is Fittis is now getting on these guys.
Yes.
Now Larson has some clear air in front of him. Now let's see what Marlowe can do. Shouldn't be bothered by Pajan anymore. But my goodness, the happiest man to see all that nonsense going on between those two guys was the Deuce. John Allen out in front by 11.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's definitely in command right now. Deuce really been solid ever since he got into the seat. Got off the pit lane great and has been great ever since. So good pace for him so far. Still turning really, really fast laps. And that's going to be a tough situation to beat. We know he's going to maybe need a little bit more of a pit stop. But the question is here, if he can run it deep enough, he may not need as much fuel as we think here. Now we've just about hit the 1 hour mark left, Soup. This could get interesting here towards the end.
Let's drop back to Sonny Ketchen running in 5th overall in class. He's got James Stevenson behind him, and my question is, why is Stevenson still in the car? I would expect Losper would be his partner. That's usually the case. Maybe they'll do it on that final stop. They have 15 minutes. Maybe Losper will put in that 45 minutes here. Starting pretty soon.
I would have to think so, unless something's gone wrong with Richard. I hate to think that, but I know Richard put in a lot of practice laps here. He told me he put in a couple hundred laps here. I'd hate to think that he put in a couple hundred laps for nothing. Oh, here we go. The battle's back on. Pajan looking for the move here. Maybe heading down into the chicane. Not going to do it. Going to back off just a bit. Going to get a clean entry and a clean exit.
Okay, well, let me give it a little interval time we can mark down here on your pencils and papers. Kids at home, get out your crayons. It's 11 seconds. With 1 hour to go, 11 seconds from Allen back to the second place driver, which is Larson, which I'm going to assume he's going to stay in second. Meanwhile, Aaron, what had happened was S-House was gaining, but that little bobble that he had has cost him some time.
Yeah, it cost him nearly 2.5 seconds, so now the gap is now stretched back to 17.6 seconds. So all that hard work after the pit stop has gone away.
He had it down to 15, and when you're trying to make up that kind of time, you just can't afford to make a mistake.
Joe McDonald getting out of the way for Kanchan and Stevenson back here, guys. But they do have some traffic coming. Here comes Travis Davis and Matthew Catilla.
Speaking of Matthew Catilla, right now he's got 18 seconds on Kevin Ford. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if Ford is able to run him down. 18 seconds with an hour to go. Probably able to do it. Ford usually a pretty darn good driver. S-House happy to let me look at Kevin Ford. You see that interval's just under 18 now. Mika S-House has finally got around Deuce Allen, so now S-House has clear sailing in front of him to try to run down his cousin teammate in the Busch Fink Racing Red, the Roland Estonian, Errol Nunn. But remember, guys, when we talk about Deuce Allen, remember he had that short pit stop to start.
Ooh.
So, Sean?
Pajan battling here into the chicane. Hats off to Pajan. He did let Larson get by there, but he's still keeping it close. He's not going away. He's still filling up the mirror there.
Well, honestly, Marcello, all you need to do is stay right where you are right now and let Larson try to do the work for you. Let him try to bring you up. See what he can get you up there to Deuce.
Deuce seems to be really hooked up right now, Soup.
Boy, he does.
Geez, he's one of those drivers when he gets up front. It's hard to deny his his capable hands. He is again still just continuing to pull away here. Ever since that pit stop, has shown tremendous pace.
Yeah, the interval pretty much stable there. Allen, I think, is probably pretty much minding the gap. 10.7 right now. I think it was 11 when I mentioned it before, but so much it depends on traffic and that kind of thing. When it gets down to single digits, that's when we'll know we know that Larson is serious about running them down. And Ayrton, slow but sure. That's how. Oh, I heard something there. Does somebody blow an engine? Let's see. Is it Stevenson and a little? Let's go back to Stevenson. Oh, nope. Guess not. Sorry, too far back. Never mind. Yeah, catch it. As we talk about this damage, if we look at Sonny's car here, it's got a little rear end damage that came courtesy of his Aussie neighbor. Now, I think that might have happened a while ago, not right now. Stevenson, it was back a little earlier. They were banging together. Those are two Asbury Motorsports drivers. Kanchan off the pace again. Now remember, Sonny dominates the MX-5 World Tour and was doing amazingly well in this series as well. He's lost his point lead for that team. Of course, it is a really long day for Sonny. He gets up at some godforsaken hour with the time change now. I think it's probably something like 3 in the morning to race. Looking here at, oh my goodness, we have a car in the 49 Motorsports C car. Chris Houston coming in. Yeah. And here comes Key behind him. So with 54 to go, he can probably go the distance. He'll fill it up all the way, pack it full, probably get fresh rubber, bring it home from here.
Hey, Soup, I think it's about 10 in the morning for Sonny, if I'm correct there.
But it's been a long morning for him. I know Richard Losper said after he did the commentary on GSRC, he was going to put his head down for about an hour's nap.
Ooh, maybe that's what's happened.
Maybe that's what happened to him, yeah. Hang on, let me pull the mic. Hey, Richard, wake up.
Well, the gap between S-House and Num is slowly closing. It's not a drastic amount per lap, but it's picking up a few tenths every now and then.
Now, Chris Houston coming out of the pits. Our leader, John Deuce Allen, just got by him. Gene Fittis is in the pits, guys. Rolling in now. That's the 4th place car here in the ST class.
And he was in the hunt. He was only a shout away from the battle that was going on ahead of him between Larson and Pajan.
He was digging there for a while, but he was starting to lose pace. And I think maybe he had started to burn up the tires a little bit and thought, you know what, we're getting close here within the last hour. Let me go ahead and take this last pit stop now.
Well, how about an interval for you? Remember, boys and girls, when I told you to get out your crayons? It was 11 seconds with an hour to go. Well, now with 53 minutes to go, it's 8.7 seconds. That's the interval from Deuce Allen back to Marlo Lawson. So Larson is a coming. And that all happened once Pajan started behaving himself and not being such a pesky little sister.
Now Larson and Pajan, they got some traffic up in front of them here with Michael Key and Chris Hewson.
Oh no!
They'll have to get through them if they got any chance of getting to Allen.
Michael Key going to be no trouble at all. You watch when they get up here. Michael, one of the best in the business of letting faster cars around. Proud to call him a brother in the Back Market United Association. And that beautiful blue car with that multicolored stripe down the middle.
So he gets
Racing.
Does he get 2 bear claws?
No, baby. Cream filled.
Ooh.
Those are special. We bring those. And the gourmet coffee. Now, he has the Extreme Motorsports on there, of course. That's a racing team that's very popular. In fact, Extreme Motorsports runs a series that very much mirrors this one. Not carried on this channel, although we have covered a few of them.
I see their cars everywhere, Soup.
Oh, yeah.
DGFX. I see him in all the big iRacing events.
Look at
always
that.
competing. Oh boy!
Oh no! That was
Michael Keyes, now they're side by side up in front of him. Larson, Pajan gets around Larson.
Don't you worry, Michael. You still get the cream filled. They just caught you at a bad spot, buddy. You can't make the car transparent. Riding on board with Larson. Now we're on Pajan. Okay, here we go. And what does that mean to the interval? Well, 8.7. Let's mark it down. Let's see if it grows now that Pajan is out in front. Marlo's got to be saying, I got to do this again?
Back to work. Time to roll up his sleeves.
Yeah, you boys called it when it was all about traffic. Meanwhile, let's see if who else made their pit stops here. I believe somebody should be good to go. Any of our leaders made their second stop? Progression has. So Gene Fittis, right. Gene Fittis is the leaders of all the cars who've pitted and can go the distance.
Yeah, but I think right now he's probably going for speed, Soup. Sorry, I did it. Yeah, I did it again.
A little cake reference. That's always nice. Still probably not in this millennium, but close.
I think it still applies. That's all right. I'm going to keep using it. I'm going to go down in flames with that one, Soup.
How you doing, Amjad? Anything going up there in your 6-car, 2.5-hour race there in those Mustangs? Tell me
Guys,
something.
oh, I'm sorry. Nope. Larson
sorry.
making the pass. Down to the first chicane. Larson gets
There
the
we go.
spot back away from Pajan. James Stevenson coming to the pits, guys. Asbury Motorsports 426 making their last stop.
Paging Richard Losper. Richard Losper, please go to a white courtesy phone. There we go. Yeah, well, we don't know if Richard's getting in. Stevenson is getting out. All right.
Up from his nap, off the couch, and into the cockpit.
Tanned, rested, and ready to put on a show here for these last 48 minutes.
Oh, tanned and rested indeed. You know, Richard Losper is retired, Soup. I always picture him tanned and rested.
.2 seconds the interval from Deuce Allen back to, oh my goodness, this is still Pajan. I thought Larson got around him.
Yeah, no.
Still,
No,
Larson is around.
Larson did get around him. Here we go. We got got a little company here. Here comes Travis Davis, third place car coming up through. They've caught Houston up in front of him, guys. Houston's got a mirror full of Mazda and Mustang right behind him.
Houston has to hope that they get that sorted out behind him a little better before they catch him. May not happen.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is good news for Marlowe. Marlowe may be able to finally give the kiss goodbye to Marcello Pajan here.
Don't count on it.
Well, that's how he's going to. Marcello's going to come in for his stop.
Yeah. Pajan's coming in now. Is anybody else going to get in the car? We're about to find out.
I don't think so. I think he's by himself today, if I remember right. Asbury used. Well, Tom Ratchie is on the list. Tom been scheduled to race. Tom certainly.
Yeah, he's no
quality driver.
slouch. He's no slouch.
Oh, maybe. There we go.
Okay, guys. Larson's caught Houston. Not a battle for position, but that's going to put Houston down a lap in class. Houston going to let him on by clean. Houston got to be careful. He swung it way out wide. And Team Potato continues the march. 12 seconds up the track, though, Sue. That's how long it's going to take to get to Deuce.
Let's go check in with Ayrton. We haven't talked to him for a while. Might be able to get a little homework done. Anything going on in the Mustangs there?
I'm trying to think of like a good definition for this essay. You see. No, not much going on. The gap has kind of stretched out a little bit again, up to 17 seconds. Again, Mika Eshouse has been making a few mistakes. Had a very close moment when trying to lap Richard Losper last lap. Nearly took Losper out as he spun around on what I think it was the second chicane.
Oh, jeez. I can't imagine what
together.
was being said there off mic.
But besides that, not much going on. Travis Davis actually headed into the pits from third place in the GS class.
There we go, making his final stop. We'll see if Davis gets out of the car, if he's going to bring it home, turn it back over to Russell Reddick. We'll find out. My guess would be Travis going to bring it home from here.
Matthew Catilla coming in behind him.
We know Catilla's not getting out of the car because he's all by himself. And here comes Ford. And just to make it a little pit party, let's bring in George Johnson as well. So, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th all come in for the Mustangs.
Guys, I can confirm Marlowe Larson is on the charge. He was about 5/10 faster there on the last lap than our leader, and he's still peaking right now. He's got a good charge going here.
Aaron, you see that? It looked like Kevin Ford might have
Missed his
got a
pit
little
stall.
confused, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, and our leader is in the Mustangs now. Let's see if his cousin follows him in. Mika Eschhaus, or is he going to stay out? Mika's going to stay out and run some hot laps, get a point for leading the race. So, a new leader in the Mustangs, Mika Eschhaus from the Netherlands.
that'll be the third one today. Catilla had that one lap
That's
last
right.
pit cycle.
Ayrton, I've missed you. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I wasn't sure you were losing your memory already, Soup.
No.
So Nam decided to stay in the car, so he's going to be finishing it out rather than Williams.
Num's pit stop, 30 seconds. Just about the same time as Bushfink did the first time. Probably just enough. They're going to break it up into close into thirds here. And Sean, I apologize. I really didn't give you the credit that was due to you here when you made that announcement. Yeah, 7.8 now is the interval from Allen to Larson. Larson is coming.
Yes, he is. Now, big update here on the championship here in the SD class. If the 49 car wins the race today, then all they really have to do is start that final race to clinch the championship in the SD class. Yeah.
That would be huge and quite an accomplishment.
Well, it's Deuces to handle right now, and he's handled it real well, but we suspected this Larson guy was a hot shoe, and he definitely is. The question is, can he make up enough time here on track right now to pick up the difference in the pit stop here that we've still got to get one in. I'm interested to see how close he's going to be able to get here before we bring it in.
Yeah, 7 seconds is about the difference in pit stop times as well.
Mika S-House into the pits.
Okay, so while he's in, let's go ahead and see if we can pick up the leader then in the Mustang, Errol Num. These should be really long pit stops for these Mustangs. They're going to fill it up all the way.
Looks like S-House is going to stay in the car.
Num working his way through these last two left-handers. Coming down the main straight.
The gap before the stop, I believe, was 17 seconds. S-House now just came out of his stall.
Oh. He's rolling at least. Num is by, but at least they're both going in the same direction. Boy, what a long exit.
Boy.
Unlucky with the timing there. Larson just got by. Now he's going to have to try to pass him.
Larson does not need to be slowed down right now. He is making big gains on our leader.
There, S-House gets away. Let's see if we can give you an interval. My timing and scoring says it's 95 seconds. Clearly that's incorrect. We're about 14 or 15. My timing score is coming out. We'll get back to you here in a little bit. Let's see what we have up there. About there, we'll get it. Let's see what our...
Yeah, no, it's about 13 seconds. That's what it cost him right there. That little side-by-side really slowed him down a lot. I mean, he had just picked up about 8/10 on the last lap and lost it all with that little battle there with the Mustang. Let's see Larson having to roll up his sleeves a little more and get back to work again, Soup.
Well, it doesn't look so bad. I'm showing it as under 7 seconds now for Larson. From Allen to Larson. Is that what you're showing? So that's not too bad for him. As he comes into the pits. Oh, Deuce is coming in. All right. Deuce coming in. Let's see if Marlowe's going to follow suit.
Yep.
Nope.
No, he is not.
No, just to follow up on what you're talking about for 49 Motorsports winning the series, the team championship. Earlier on in the season, it was a triple slice of Asbury pie. Those guys were really dominating, and 49 was able to run these guys down. Asbury pie sounds pretty good.
Doesn't sound bad. You're making me hungry, Soup. All right, so 49 Motorsports A is getting 4 tires and fuel. Allen's still in.
So that would mean we're going to watch Fittis. Fittis still has quite a ways to go to threaten. Have they come? Looks like Allen rolling now. Has he got to his pit?
He is. He is rolling. Allen is off. And he is away. That was 1 minute and 4 seconds, Sue.
His nearest competitor, Fittis, just coming around on the front straight right now, so he's way back. Sean using the same timing and scoring that I have. That minute and 40 seconds is cone to cone.
That's really the time I concern myself with.
That really is.
Yeah.
Isn't it great? That's wonderful. Let's give him a plug. That's Joe Real Timing.
Yeah, definitely. Let's give them a plug. They, hey, I'm going to be honest. I do a lot of time on top of the box, and I kind of rely on that just a bit. But it's all in the spreadsheet. It's all in the spreadsheet.
We keep plugging. They'll send us a free license or something to that. It's a nice piece of software. Okay, so now we're waiting for Marla Lawson to make his move.
And not yet. He's going to keep her out there. So Larson is now our leader. Sonny Canchin just behind him, but Sonny still needs a pit stop also. The only other car back there that hasn't been in, Soup, is George Fike. Now, Fike is back in 6th. He is a lap down in class. But here we've got an update on the GS Championship, Soup.
I don't see it.
Or we want to throw that to Ayrton.
Oh, GS Championship. Okay, the 23 strictly needs, all he needs to do is finish ahead of the number 38 to secure the GS Car Championship. So that's for...
Yeah, so that's Bushfink Blue, and they have to finish ahead of Extreme Motorsports 2, who's currently in 5th place, so as long as nothing drastic happens.
Looking at...
George Johnson, yeah. Stopped on the track.
Just a self-spin. And they're talking to him. They're giving him, the race stewards are telling him what to do. Car was stopped over there in that same piece of cement that we've seen before. He's parked. Brake lights are on.
Wonder if this will bring out caution.
Boy, the race stewards are there. They could do it. I mean, they're now he's rolling. Now he starts to go. And the race stewards are very happy with George.
You gonna throw him a bone?
I say that not sarcastically. I said they were sincerely thought it was very polite. He would let the field go by. Nice job, George.
You know, that's really one of the few incidents we've seen today. I thought we'd see more trouble here, Soup, with the nature of this track being so fast and the chicanes really, it's like Ayrton talked about early on in this race, each one of them being so different, having to change your braking zone so much. I really thought we'd see a lot more trouble today. Quite frankly, it just hasn't happened. This has been a great race. A lot of these drivers have been on point today.
All right, Sean, so help me out here. Going to the STs. Team Potato, that's with Marlon Lawson. We know that he has to come in one more time, right? We're absolutely confident about that.
Absolutely, yes. Larson still has to come in, and so does Canchin behind him.
Canchin behind him also has to come in. So then we get down to Deuce Allen, who we think can go the distance.
Yeah, we certainly think Deuce can go the distance, and now he is back down the track. It looks to be about... checking my timing and scoring here. It looks like he's what, Soup?
I'm seeing about 50 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, about 50 seconds. So
that seems like Larson should be able to come in and take a relatively normal pit stop and still be able to get out.
He's got to do it under 1 minute and 4. So
well, that's right. That's 1 minute and 4, but that doesn't take into account slow down or speed up time because that's cone to cone. That's not acceleration or braking. Interesting.
Yes, it is. And, you know, I talked about strategy early on in this race. This is when it all comes to a head here. What do you do with that last pit stop? Where do you find yourself on the track? And how long of a stop do you need? Only the practice time, the preparation that goes into these races. You can only find the answers there, Soup. You can't wait till race day. Larson going to keep it out still again.
Deuce took 32 seconds worth of fuel. Boy, this is really, I know it doesn't seem very exciting, but if you're a sim racer trying to calculate, if you're just a race fan in general, you should be able to appreciate Larson out there with about a 50-second lead, but needs to come in for fuel. 32 minutes to go. Deuce Allen has to be racing, can't afford to make any mistake here, Sean. He's got to put in hot laps. Every second counts, even though he's almost a minute behind. Haven't heard much from Gene Fittis lately.
Nope.
Fourth of all the cars who we think are going to cycle. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, now Fittis still doing a good job. Been in that car all day. Hanging on the 4th place. Got Tom Rathje behind him. Rathje currently right about 9 seconds behind.
Looking for a battle. Go ahead, Aaron.
Just an update on the GS class. Right now, it's the gap between first and second is about 14.8 seconds. So it hasn't really closed in that much.
Here's what I like to do. 14 seconds with 31 to go. So basically you just double the gap. As long as that gap can say half the time minutes left remaining, he's doing it. Does that make any sense at all?
I think what you're trying to say is that he has to cut down half a second every lap.
There you go. Every minute, yeah.
Oh yeah, every minute.
Thank you. That's why you're in college.
All right, guys. Larson's in Ravaza. What's he gonna do? Looks like he's coming in. There we go. All right, this is going to be fun to watch here. Let's watch the time.
The most anticipating pit entry ever.
All right, now Kanchan's coming out of Ravaza now. He's still got to make a pit stop too.
I think Kanchan should clearly get him.
Kanchan's in. Kanchan is in.
Allen now has worked that final chicane. He's on the long straight to set up those 2 left-handers that'll turn you back out onto the main straightaway. Allen.
No tires for Larson. No tires for Larson. Fuel only. He's away.
Allen now just getting out onto the straightaway. Oh, but it's a long, long drive down pit lane before he can put his foot to the gas. Allen has full steam ahead. Now Larson can step on it. Allen has full momentum. Larson is going to get out, but Allen is closing the gap. It's 1.7, 1.5, 1 second. He's coming. He's in sight.
Larson had to slow down there.
He's got Kevin Ford. Allen, I think it's going to be close enough, Sean, to be in the tow.
And Kanchan is just getting away from the pit. Game over for Kanchan back there. Got to hope for a miracle up in front of him. Going to be tough for Larson and Allen to mess up at this point, I think. But what a great battle we're going to have. Larson in the lead. Here comes Allen.
Allen has fresher tires too, right?
I don't think either one of them could afford to take tires. Although I'll go back and see if Allen may have been able to take tires on his long stop.
Yeah, Larson did not take any.
Allen had a really long stop, so yeah, he might have been able to get tires in there.
No, Allen did take tires, guys.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah, I was on that pit stop. He did take tires. That was 4 tires and fuel.
So there you go. Let me tell you what's up. You have Marlon Lawson, in my opinion, a little bit faster of a driver than Deuce Allen. Sorry, Deuce, but I just got to call it as I see him. But he's on old tires. Deuce Allen behind him in the tow on fresher rubber. This is going to be great.
I don't know, man. Deuce is pretty salty. I don't want to count him out of anything yet at all. Larson's got a fight on his hands with 28 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Team Potato North America, 49 Motorsports.
Now, Cantion back here in dirt. He's got to be careful. Gene Fittis is right behind him, only about 5 seconds.
But also, you have to remember that Team Potato North America is not in the championship hunt for team champion. 49 Motorsports is, so on racing with the sword of Damocles hanging over his head. And the horse hire is getting frayed. It's down to, oh, he's there now. It's under 0.8 of a second.
Deuce exploring the boundaries of the track right now.
Boldly going.
Yes, definitely. But again, you've got to be so careful because that slowdown penalty is just going to kill you right now. You really don't want that to happen.
Oh, it'll cost for either one of those guys. For Larson or Allen, it costs them the race, I think, if either one of them gets a slowdown penalty. And Allen is close enough, Sean, where he makes Larson race. Larson still has to drive the car. Look at the dust through those corners. Well, Mika Eshouse has got it under 14 seconds now. But if I double 14, that gets me to 28, and there's only 26 minutes left. He's a little bit behind pace.
Yeah, I mean, the problem he's having is consistency. He runs a blistering sub 59 lap, but then, like, right after he has a 2-minute lap. So, got to cut out those mistakes if you actually want to catch up. At this point, he's just hoping on a big mistake.
Guys, Richard Losper with a problem. Oh, and it gets into the barrier, destroys the front end of the car.
I think problem is a little bit of an understatement there, Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
That car's not driving straight.
He gets out of Villeneuve clean.
As we're on board. Take a deep breath, guys. This is going to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still trying to wheel the car around, guys, but it is just in bad shape. He can barely steer the thing. I can see the wheel in his hands cocked all the way to the left.
And they're telling 426 that the race stewards came over, said either to get the car off or to be aware of it out there. Now he's picking up pace a little bit. Oh, I understand what he's trying to do here. It takes forever to take a tow. Probably not that much longer, though, when the speed he's going, Sean.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Boy, it would sure be nice to get one. The good news is he's almost around the track. What a shame. I keep going back to all the practice Richard put in, and I just hate that for him. He told me there's so much trouble to be found out here. It can creep up at any second and bite you. Leaders get by. Larson just gets by there.
What you have to worry about here, and Lord knows I've done this many times, every once in a while the car will take a right or take a left on you when you think you're going straight, and even though you think you understand what the car's doing, and all of a sudden you find yourself turned sideways in the middle of traffic.
Oh, here comes Zero Nam just by Richard now. Richard still trying to wheel it back around the track, making his way down to Ravazza very slowly. Nam got by clean, making his way out of Ravazza now. He'll be catching Deuce Allen and Marlo Larson here real soon. And there's the battle up front. Here we go, guys. Allen on the outside of Larson, heading down into the first chicane.
Larson still holding them off. Larson on old tires. The Ohio Bullet, the Buckeye Bullet, John Deuce Allen chasing them down. Allen stalking.
Oh boy. Deuce all the way out in the dirt.
Larson trying to make that car tough to pass, but I don't know if it's going to be able to do so. Allen has 23 minutes to get this done.
The Asbury Motorsports 426 and Richard Losper have made their way to the pit lane, guys. And I'm afraid that car is going to be in there for a while. That's heavy damage. That might be the end of their day. Just after I talked about how we haven't had any attrition at all, and boy, I hate to think that I jinxed anybody in this race, but that's been our first real casualty, guys.
Really is the case. This has got to be, Allen's has got to be sitting here saying, I got 22 minutes to get this done. I'm behind the guy. Sean, if there was a rubber advantage, do you think that the rubber would that Allen's advantage would go away from him as both the tires became old, or do you think he'll always have that through the whole stint? What would be your guess?
It just depends on how hard he's digging. I'm going to be really honest with you. If he's abusing him, it's not going to make much of a difference. But I'm back to Sonny Cantion and Gene Fittis. Fittis still just 5 seconds back right now, and he's digging. I'm sorry, 4 seconds. So he's picked up a second on him. This is going to be a good battle here with just almost 20 minutes left. I think Fittis has got a shot at a podium here. I think that'd be a nice reward for a guy who's been in the seat all day.
And in a second, we're going to have one of those rare eclipses here. We're going to have Marlon Lawson out in front, and the Aero Numb's about to catch them. So we'll have both our leaders together. What may happen is, though, George Fike may also become in the mix as Larson now is coming up to lap Fike.
That's Cartier.
That's Brian Cartier.
Cartier,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
Fike has stepped out of the car.
The man from Cartier.
Actually from Northern California, but we'll go with that.
True story. I have a Frenchman friend of mine whose father worked for Cartier back in the day. I believe in the 50s.
Oh, well, Cartier.
Oh boy, yeah.
I think he was leaving them room, and Allen just got. Now they're right behind each other, and here comes
this is
the
gonna be
leader.
messy. Oh, he's gonna go. No, he's not gonna go 3 wide.
Noam took his time. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to get it done sooner or later.
Deuce really loose off the turn there, off the chicane.
Larson out in front. Allen behind him. Larson trying to make the car hard to pass. Allen trying to get around him. And stuck behind them is your leader in the GS class, Aero Num. But he's got to get going because now that lead is shrinking. It's down to 11 seconds. It's under 11 seconds. And Num can see that closing. And that's from S-House. Now the leaders get out of the way. Of course, everything you can do, I can do better. S-House will have the same problem when he gets up to Larson and Allen. But now, Num gets away. That interval is now 10.8 seconds.
And Num doesn't have much traffic ahead of him, so it's just going to be hot laps at this point.
Allen with a bit of a run on Larson, but then he chose not to. The Buckeye Bullet against the man from England.
Well, Deuce is panning for gold right now, Soup. He is really just putting all the pressure he can on Larson. Larson has not made a mistake to my memory. And if he's looking or planning on Larson to make one, that might not be the strategy he wants to play. He's got to go for I'm thinking he's got to go for the pass here at some point. Got to set him up and try to get around.
Larson racing like a kidney stone. He's hard to pass. And Allen can't find his way around. No.
You know, my mama was a Rolling Stone, Sue. That one just fell totally flat. All right. You know, we keep throwing in all these stupid one-liners.
It's the 3rd of September, baby.
We got a great race going here on the track, and oh boy, what a run for Alan there in Rivasa. Gets a good run off. He's going to close him up here, coming through the straight.
He can have him if he wants him. If he wants him, he can do it.
Oh,
this comes along side by side.
This is where you want to be on this, right here.
What I think, let's see if Larson really fighting back. Look how he's pinning Allen down to the inside, not giving him a good angle into the chicane.
Ooh, gotta be careful for the slowdown. Allen really got the tires off to the left there.
Here he comes, fighting back. Here comes the man. No, did he get a slowdown?
Yes, he did.
That's a slowdown penalty.
Yeah.
You called it, Sean.
Right there before Tarambello, and yep.
The good news is it probably will not be as costly as it would be early in the race.
He's going to have to get back to work, and he's going to have to do it with traffic coming right behind him. Here comes Mika Eshouse.
Unbelievably, John Deuce Allen had a slowdown penalty earlier today in the MX-5 World Tour that he tried to nurse his way around. We talked about it. It eventually got him disqualified. I think he knows the rules now. I'm sure he's not going to get disqualified here. But now here comes Mika. The good news for Mika is at least these guys are split up this time, Sean.
Yeah, that is good news for Mika. But he's definitely having to slow down. He's caught him in a difficult spot on the track. Going to be able to make the pass here and get down to the chicane clean. Boy, I really hated that for Allen, that slowdown penalty. But boy, it just looked like they were. He was. Boy, yeah, that was close. Boy, they just both followed each other right through that turn. I mean, every movement.
Yeah, Eshouse had a rough time on that second part of the chicane.
Boy, it had absolutely no speed down the straightaway either.
Guys, I hate to say it, but Deuce is going to have to be perfect here from here out if he's got any shot now. We've only got just right at almost the 15-minute mark, guys.
Well, it's under a second. Deuce was able to run him down before. The problem is Deuce had to run him down from way back. Then he got there. Then he had to run him down again. Now he's having to run him down a third time. You talked about using up your stuff.
Ooh. Eshouse getting some wheel spin on the exit.
Yeah, I'm sure all that dirt on the track not helping.
Yeah, and that traffic cost him about a second. Gap's now spread back up to 12 seconds between him and
Well, guys, Sonny Canchin's making it real tough on Gene Fittins to catch up. I think Canchin, watching that relative, knows exactly where he's at, and he's driving just hard enough, knows he can't get up there to Deuce or Larson, but hanging on just enough here to stay ahead of Fittins and guarantee himself a spot on the podium.
Things settling down out there now a little bit. What's the mascot for Drexel University?
a dragon.
Drexel. Oh, that's good.
The dragon's name is Mario too, so in spirit of Italy.
Oh, an Italian dragon. So we look here at Aero Num. We talked about Aero. He races in the Absolute Beginner League every other Sunday if you want a nice open wheel event. Skippy's always good racing there. Right now he is dominating that series though. 3 for 3 in the first 3 races. The defending champion. No, let me correct myself. Champion the season before and then lost it. Working to get that championship back right now in a much heavier car, that Mustang.
Yeah, you can't make any comparisons between those two cars, can you, Sue?
Just really. Other than you can buy the Mustang in a convertible, which would only thing I can think would be close to the Skippy.
Don't they both have Class D series?
I guess they do have both. You can both, if you have a Class D license, you can race both of those.
Soup, what do you say we get a field rundown here real quick before we wrap this race up?
I'm going to let my partner Airden do it. So, Airden, why don't you run down the top 6 there in the Mustangs? Take your time.
All right. Yeah, first place, it's Team Bushfinks Racing Red, driven by Aeronum. 12 seconds behind him is the Bushfink Blue Team. Mika S. House is finishing off the race for them. And then, probably about a minute behind, is the Flying Tortoise Motorsports driver, Travis Davis, who came in for Russell Ruddock, who was driving earlier in the race. Extreme Motorsports won in 4th place, about 20 seconds back from Davis. And then Extreme Motorsports 2 now got both Extreme Motorsports guys back-to-back on the standings. They're now in 5th place. And then Slow Johnson Racing down in 6th place, 1 lap down.
Sean, how about the STs? Let's do the whole field.
Yeah, let's do it real quick here. It is still Marlo Larson in the lead for Team Potato North America. John Deuce Allen, 49 Motorsports A, sits there in 2nd. He might have played his last card from the bottom of the deck today. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Back to 3rd, we go to Sonny Canchin in the Asbury Motorsports 74, trying to secure a podium finish here today. In 3rd, Gene Fitt is digging hard, but I just don't know if there's enough left. He's been in the race the whole way since the green flag dropped. He's in 4th. And we'll go back to Tom Rathje in the Asbury Motorsports number 75. Got a ways to go to catch Fittis. Looks like he's going to hold on to that 5th spot because Chris Houston is about a minute behind him in 6th in the 49 Motorsports C. And then we go down to Brian Cartier in 7th. He also a couple laps down. Joe McDonald, Team Scum in 8th. Extreme Motorsports, Michael Key in 9th. And the Asbury Motorsports 426 of Richard Losper. We saw that hard shunt before into the barrier there. Still in the pits now for about 12 and a half minutes. I don't think they'll make it back on track, Soup.
I'm a Civil War buff, and I can't help be reminded of John Deuce Allen's his path this race. Reminds me of Gettysburg, where the South, they're storming, and they actually make it to the North's line, and they actually get to the cannon. They turn the cannon around, and for a brief second, the South has broken the line, only to be turned back. And I kind of feel what Deuce Allen did. He ran down Marlon Lawson, got there for the briefest of moments, only to be turned away. But now he's still fighting back, though.
Boy, you know what? Larson needs to be careful. Almost not seeing it on the screen yet, but boy, that was really close down there in the chicane and in one of those areas where you might pick up that slowdown penalty. But looks like he's still at pace, so no slowdown penalty for Larson. Yeah, you're digging hard here. You can't make a mistake with just under 10 minutes to go now.
Let me get out my commentator's handbook here real quick. Thumb through the pages. Under 10 minutes to go. What does it say? Mention fuel. Oh, we're not sure if any of these drivers took enough fuel. Remember, they all came in for pit stops, and they were all worried about getting out as fast as they can. Do they have enough fuel to go the distance? Were they calculating their fuel, figuring they'd be in the draft? Nobody's been in the draft so far. Will they have enough to get there?
Well, if there is a question, it's going to be Marlo Larson. He did have a much shorter pit stop there than Allen. We know Allen probably got enough fuel based on 4 tires. So, Soup, that could come into question because Larson, let's face it, he's got to stay flat out at this point. Yes, the gap is falling. Here comes Allen.
It was a second and a half, and now it's down to 0.8 of a second. We'll stay, with 8 minutes to go, we'll mostly stay focused on this battle right here.
Remember what we said earlier about 49 Motorsports. They win this race. So that car gets across the line first. All they've really got to do is show up on the grid in the last round, Sue.
Yeah, the flip side to that coin is if something were to happen and Allen were to make a mistake, they would drop several spots down the standings, and that would really cost them. So while a win would be nice, a second would be a lot better than a sixth. 8 minutes to go. 8/10 of a second, the gap between the two cars.
Oh boy, I hope Allen didn't make another mistake there. He was way over in the chicane.
He sure was. On the right-hand side of the car going across, he must... Oh, we got a crash. No, did Losper bring his car back out on the track?
I think he did, and it's back
And
in
did
the
he
pit
get in?
now.
No, let's go to Losper. It just happened. He got ran in the back of by the poor Kevin C. Ford. I think we can get it. Losper in the car without a hood. Yeah. Now here's Ford. Now there's Losper in the car on the right. That's this car that was injured with no hood. And Ford just... I can't blame Kevin. He has no clue that Losper would be out there at the tempo he is.
Yeah, but boy, I don't
Kevin,
know.
let's go back up to the lead. Marlo Lawson had a bad corner exit.
He did, and Allen is there to try and take advantage of it. About as close as he's been since that slowdown penalty. This is the race here. I've got about 3.5 laps to go, Soup.
Good news, the race stewards are all over that incident. They're looking at it right now. Kevin Ford had places to go. He was trying to run down his teammate. But right now, with 6 minutes to go, Sean, Aaron, I think we're supposed to put most of our attention on these two guys up in front. The Buckeye Bullet trying to run down Marlo Lawson, Deuce Allen, and the man from England.
Well, they've got Joe McDonald just up the road from them. Both getting over the curbs a lot there.
Usually this is where we hope that it's not decided by a yellow flag. Now, boys, I'm hoping it's not decided by a black slowdown penalty. A slowdown penalty here. And Allen right behind Larson now. Larson out in front. Deuce Allen trying to get some rooster milk. My dad always said, passing a car is like milking a rooster. The hard part starts after you catch it. Well, Allen's caught it. Now let's see if he can milk the bird. Larson out there weaving back and forth, trying to make that car as wide as he can.
Deuce really living on the edge right now, Soup.
I think he's living too much on the edge.
Oh, he did, yes. Oh.
He got another one.
Yes, he did. Wow. That's why I said what I did when I did. Jeez. Get snake bit again.
He is Sisyphus. He keeps pushing the boulder up the hill, and it keeps rolling back down over him. Now he's got to start all over again.
Yeah, it's just 2.5 laps left here, Soup. I don't see it happening. Larson's been so strong ever since he got in the car. Made a couple mistakes, and he had to get back to work and get those spots back. But I don't know. This final run here has been solid. All Deuce can hope for is a mistake at this point. I think if he had 5 more laps, he could probably get back to him. But Soupy hasn't been able to pass him.
The good news for Deuce is 49 Motorsports going to score big points. They may have to do a little bit more than just start the race, but nevertheless, second place, I'm not going to think they're going to hear any complaints from the chairman of the board, Dexter Castro, on this one.
Now Cancian's opened it up to 10 seconds over Fittis now. Again, that's probably going to be a good day for Asbury Motorsports 74 to get a podium. Fittis has been the Iron Man today behind the wheel since the green flag dropped. He's had a great run. Nothing to be ashamed about. Progression Racing Australia going to have a solid day. Rathje not going to catch him. He's back there in 5th.
Race stewards, listen, peeking in on the race stewards. They're doing a little discussion on the merits of that Losper machine being back out on the track or not. Not sure how off the pace it was. And again, Sean, Ford could see it. It was not like it jumped out of nowhere. It was clearly there.
Well, I mean, it was... Let's face it, there were 2 cars right in front of him. It was a precarious situation to begin with. I don't. Did he have to force the issue there?
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I wasn't in the car.
He had, to give Kevin on Kevin's defense, he was trying to run down a car. He had been chasing him for the last 30 minutes, so I think that probably played into it.
White flag should be out for Ironum.
The Rolling Estonian gets the flag that has no pigment. How many corners left to go? Well, it depends on what lap map you look at, anywhere between 18 and 20. We knew he was fast in the Skippy. We find out he is just as fast in a car with a little more testosterone, that Mustang. No offense to the Skippy, but not many girls are going to say, "Oh, you drive a Skippy."
Even the name.
Yeah, that's right. We ride on board with the Rolling Estonian right now.
Guys, Marlo Larson going to come across the start-finish line with 1 to go. Still your leader, Deuce Allen in 2nd.
Assuming that Larson has enough petrol to get to the end, he should be able to bring that car home. Deuce Allen probably not going to be happy with 2nd. It's hard not to be happy when you finish 2nd, but really, he had this one.
Got to go back to those 2 slowdown penalties that really just crippled him.
Were there only 2?
Well, those were the 2 that really factored into costing him the race there, I think, honestly.
Yep.
Last few corners for Ironum.
Works his way around what I'm going to call the final corners, even though the lap map will show you that this little bend is the final corner on the straightaway. The Rolling Estonian, Ironum, wins round number 9 in the Continental Endurance Sports Car Challenge in the GS class. Our leaders are not that far behind them in the ST class. 2 seconds ahead of the Buckeye Bullet is Marlo Larson. If you're into conspiracy theories, Chris Hudson is ahead for 49 Motorsports. We just always like to keep it a little drama whenever we can.
2 corners left. Is he going to make the move?
Larson works his way around the 2 left-handers. Is he going to stay behind the lap car of Houston? I think he is. Winning in the ST class, the man from England. England swings like a pendulum too, and so does Marlo Larson, who wins it in the MX-5.
What a race. Wow. Victory snagged away from the jaws of defeat. Is that how that goes? Something like that?
I think that. Mika SS doing some little donuts right now in 2nd place for Bush Freak Racing Blue, rounding out the podium for the Mustangs Flying Tortoise. And we think, and why we have this celebration, let's go ahead and put the camera on him. He's celebrating because he has clinched the Drivers' Championship. Congratulations to the man from the Netherlands, Mika Eshouse. All right, boys and girls, what we're going to do right now is take a very short break. Then we'll come back, run down the entire field, talk to all the drivers that have importance, and close up shop. Back in just a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series, the penultimate round from Imola. We just finished up a great race. Ayrton, why don't you go ahead and run down the 6 Mustangs there at the top of the chart?
Well, finishing out the race with a 12-second lead was Team Bushfink Racing Red. And then in second place was Bushfink Racing Blue. In third place was Flying Tortoise Motorsports. And then fourth place was Extreme Motorsports number 1 team. Then Extreme Motorsports number 2 and 5th. And sixth place was Slow Johnson Racing.
And then in the ST class, Team Potato, that was Marlo Lawson's team. He was able to keep that car out ahead of 49 Motorsports, the one that was anchored by John Deuce Allen. So Team Potato gets the win. 49 Motorsports comes in second. Good news for 49 Motorsports. That A team, car number 49, is going to pick up the team championship. Asbury Motorsports, car number 74 in third. Progression Racing Australia in fourth in class. Asbury Racing, that's car number 75, fifth. 49 Motorsports, that's the C car. In sixth, Phoenix Racing and Team Scum in seventh and eighth. Extreme Motorsports 3 in ninth. And Asbury Motorsports, that's car number 46 that was piloted by Stevenson and Losper. Losper had that late race incident. They're going to wrap up the field there, and Mama Jean Racing did not take the field. Okay, let's go ahead and do some driver interviews here. My goodness, we got a lot of people to talk to. Let's go ahead and talk to Mika first. I'll go ahead and talk with him. Mika, who races, of course, for Team Bushfink Racing Blue. We have a lot to talk about with him. Mika, you didn't win the race today, but probably more importantly, you picked up that driver's championship and the team championship.
Yes, I believe so. My teammate is NTS as well, so if you want to drag him in, then available. But
Well,
yeah.
Let's do that. We'll bring in James right now. James King also. There we go. We'll bring these guys both in. James, I have James in here with Mika. Congratulations, boys, on the team championship.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
Pleased with
much.
that.
Let's talk about today. James, you had the car early. Kept the car in contention, but then turned it over to Mika. Mika, there's a new name out there now. Arrow Numb, he's pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, we've raced before, and I know he's quick, but yeah, it was. I tried to catch him for like the whole second part of the race, but just couldn't do it. And with the shift issues that I've been having, it probably cost me around 5 or 6 seconds as well. So I don't know. That was pretty quick normally as well. So good racing.
James, did you try to talk Mika into maybe let you anchor the race? Have you got to anchor one of these yet?
I think, no, it would be a terrible idea. We'd be way slower. No, I enjoy what I do. I know I'm not the fastest guy in the world, but I just like getting around, trying to keep it safe and doing as best as I can.
You know, if I was Mika, I'd be glad to have you. You know, it's no good to have a fast partner that doesn't turn over a clean car, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Well, boys, it's been fun to watch. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully we'll have you guys back to see if you can pick up a win for our last race there, even though you won't be racing for anything. It's great to have you guys. James, I know that Mika, you're from the Netherlands. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where are you from, James? You sound like you're U.S.?
No, I'm from the other side of the pond, actually. I'm good old England.
Over there. Okay. Well, then I would like to wish you guys congratulations, and then to both of you, I wish you good night, because it's got to be pretty late for both of you guys.
Oh, yeah, 3 a.m.
Thanks
so
very much.
I'm hoping into bed.
All right, thanks, boys. James King and Mika Eshouse, the winners today, well, second place today, but the winners in class. Ayrton, is there anybody you'd like to talk to?
I was just thinking we could take in the winner of the team for 49 Motorsports, John Allen.
Let's bring John down in here. John Allen, give a talk to Ayrton Ellis.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, fellas.
Well, you managed to get the team championship for the 49 Motorsports A team. You guys only... wait.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys...
I was going to say, don't tease me.
Yeah, no, I've only just come in for this race. I haven't been paying attention to the championship that much. But yeah, you guys managed to get it through. It was a pretty eventful race. You guys had battles going on majority of the race, actually, and seemed like pit strategy came into play near the end there.
Hey, before you answer, John, you do understand about how like the slowdown penalties work, right?
Yeah. Earlier this afternoon, unfortunately, I was taught a hard lesson there. So,
You had several of them again today. Boy, every time you catch them, you just couldn't stay in front of them.
yeah, I got 2 slowdowns at the end once I got behind Marlowe, and the one I thought he was gone when I got the one, because when I gave it back, he was 2 seconds ahead of me, and he's so fast. Everyone who's raced him here knows no one's got anything for him. So I couldn't believe I caught him, and I just couldn't do it a second time. I tried though, boy, was I trying.
And near the end there, who was it? Yeah, Larson. It was Larson ahead of you. I'm so out of it. I'm sorry. He didn't actually take tires on the last pit. You did in your last stop. How do you think that kind of affect the play? Was the tire wear that big of a difference for him, do you think? Or?
I think it had to be. I know he's a step quicker than I am here, and I didn't realize that till you just said it. So that explains how I could have, hung with him and clipped back onto the draft again, because I split up my stints. When we came in the first time, Robert was drafting everything he could, got that one extra lap, and came in later than they did. And then I short pitted because I know how fast Marlowe was. I wanted to come out ahead of him, knowing he might catch me, and then I could draft off of him and save enough to maybe pit shorter the last time. But they must have taken almost a full tank and just needed a splash and go, because I came out way ahead. And I thought Marcelo back there was giving him a hard enough time that maybe we'd have enough gap, we'd still be in the lead after it cycled out. But when he came out after that last pit, and I was just hoping to catch his draft, I thought, oh, it's on now.
Yeah, definitely very eventful to watch. And it seems like strategy came into play quite a bit. Anything else you want to say, Bill?
No, other than congratulations. And John, a tough race in the morning, but it was a good show you put on today.
Well, I would rather go this way than the other. There's no championship at stake for me over there, and we've just had such a blast here on 49 Motorsports working as a team.
Let me ask you before you go, were you thinking points when you were, because I was wondering, God, it would be awful if John made a mistake and cost the second place for like a 7th. Was that coming into your head when you were battling there at the end?
Yeah, the red mist goes on a little bit there. We came into it thinking, just a top 5. This track is very difficult. I didn't have a lot of experience here at all, and but when it's winding down in the final minutes, and we were 20 seconds ahead of third place, I thought, man, I'd really like to get him, but cooler heads prevailed.
Well, congratulations, and I got to think Dexter Castro's going to be happy with this one.
Yeah, I think we've cycled 6, maybe 7 different drivers through this car through the course of the season. So, it is absolutely a team effort in every way. And so congratulations to the whole of 49 Motorsports.
All right. Good luck, John, down the road. John Deuce Allen, your second place finisher today. We're going to bring in Arrow Numb. We're going to bring in his partner, also Craig Williams. Bring in the guys who actually finished first today. I was going to start with Craig. Craig, I got to get a hold of your agent, because I don't know how you were able to get Numb as your partner, but that was some slick negotiations there.
Me and Hero have been teammates for a long time. We both drive in the same team, so he spends a lot of time away on the weekends. But it just so happened that while Craig was away, Hero wasn't busy, so I snapped him up straight away.
Well, Arrow, we've seen you race the Skippies, and we knew you were fast there. Didn't know how fast you'd be on these heavier cars with fenders. Well, I learned my lesson. You're good, and no matter what you drive.
Yeah, I actually was Mustang champion last year.
I didn't know that. Would you say that's your favorite car?
Last year, yes. But now I think I like Skippy more.
Well, that's bad news for the guys in the Absolute Beginner League, I'll tell you that. Craig, you knew you had Arrow out there, so I guess you just wanted to keep it clean. You had a nice early run.
Yeah, well, I knew I only had to race James, and then I'd let the two fast guys fight it out. Arrow told me to just keep 2-minute 0.5. 2-minute 0.5 was a target lap, so I got as close as I could to that. Slowed down when I needed to around traffic, and then let these two battle it out at the end.
And then, Arrow, you were teasing the commentators there at the end. The gap would shrink. I think it actually got down to 8 seconds at one time, and we kept thinking, oh, my goodness, Mika's going to run him down. Did you think you were just minding the gap the whole time?
Yeah, but I'm not used to these big cars again, so it was a little difficult around the traffic.
Well, congratulations on both of you guys. It was a nice win, wire to wire. Way to go, and we look forward to the one more race to go. We'll see what you guys can do, maybe if you can get in for that finale. Okay, boys?
Yeah, well, I'll be there. I'll be there back with Craig again. So me and Craig will be
Craigs-
finishing the season.
The Craigs will be back together. Okay. All right. Congratulations to both you guys. There's your winners today for Bush Fink Racing. What color are you? You're the red team.
Red.
All right. That's the red one. Congratulations, boys. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Oh, we got the ST race winner to bring in. Let's go ahead. Who are we bringing in here? Is it Iannucci? Is that who we're bringing in? It was been so long ago. Let's let Aaron talk to. No, Aaron, that's not your class. I'll go ahead and talk to Giuseppe. First of all, Giuseppe, please, if there's a God in heaven, please tell me that you own a New York pizzeria. Come on, it's got to be the case, right?
No, not a New York pizzeria. Sorry. No, I actually owned a restaurant at one point, but not a pizzeria. It was an Italian restaurant, so you're good.
Well, at least you were here. Your ancestors were happy here racing in Italy. Boy, nice partner that you had today. You guys, we looked at it early. We said this is a team that's going to be tough to beat. Iannucci and Larson. My gosh, how'd you end up getting Marlo as your partner?
First of all, I got to give a big shout out to my normal partner, Nico Tamans. He got into a real life 4X a little bit ago, so he'll be out of commission for a little bit. But definitely miss him. But so in practice this week, I was planning to just run this race by myself. I asked Marlo, but he had something to do tonight. At the last second, he said it canceled, so he could jump in with me. So I literally had one lap of practice today, and Marlo and I run completely different setups. Mine is stiff everywhere. His is completely soft. So I jumped in this race on his setup with no practice whatsoever on it. So those pretty much my whole stint, I was just being extra cautious not to make a mistake. Completely different style.
Well, that explains why, because we were wondering in the booth. I said, yes, Iannucci, it's interesting that he's going to lead off and let Larson do the anchor. Of course, Marlo's pretty fast all the time. Boy, at the end, no tires. Were you a little bit worried? Look, I think John would have had him if John Allen just kept making mistakes.
Well, we actually took 2 tires. It didn't show, but yeah, we put 2 tires on the car.
On the last stop, you took 2.
Yeah, we took 2. But I mean, Marlo is running a insane pace. His pace really stepped up. It was just John. John really turned it on. I got to give it to John. I mean, Marlo, one hell of a race. Really talented, super nice guy, and just as much talent as there is talent. But John, I don't know where he came from at the end. He was running, tires and no tires. John was just on a mission.
It was a fun battle, and he'd get up there and he'd fall back and he'd come back again. In the end, Larson brought it home for you. Congratulations. I don't know. Is this the first win for this team?
No, we won at Laguna, and we've only done a handful of races. Yeah, so we've had a win in the series.
Okay.
But
well, we'd like to see that at Asbury 49 Motorsports monopoly broken up up there. We'd like to get some new names up there.
Yeah, we just like to jump in every once in a while and make a commotion.
Okay. Well, congratulations on the win, buddy. Way to go.
Wait, I just gotta say, thanks for my mom for watching. She watched one of my other races and she got very mad when I didn't give her a thank you. And thank you guys. You guys really do a great job with the broadcast.
What's her name?
My mom's name is Andrea.
Oh, Andrea's going to get a shout out from us next race. Andrea, you make sure to tune in, and if your son doesn't give you one, we'll make sure to give you one during the race. Hey, congratulations, Giuseppe. Good luck to you.
I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Giuseppe Iannucci, I must admit, I am a little bit disappointed that he doesn't own a New York pizzeria, but that's okay. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us right now. If I can find my script, we can get down here to the end. Sean has left us right now. If you know that these credits are important, but don't forget to turn over to the Bootleg Racing. That's where Sean's gone to. He's calling lead over there. A little short track excitement going on. So let's go ahead and get these credits out of the way. If I can scroll to the right place, we would like to thank Who we'd like to thank? We'd like to thank, I guess, the people from Defined Auto Works for sponsoring this event. Located just east of Columbus, Ohio, this garage is operated by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, building and tuning engines for use on street and track. Custom modifications, even designs and fabrications are all available. Contact them anytime at definedautoworks.com. I'm going to read Sean's part. Thanks to everyone at the Quality Racing Syndicate for sanctioning this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast. Ayrton?
Yep, and thanks to companies, equipment, and software that you see on the screen now that we use on all our broadcasts.
Yeah, sure. The original music that you heard on the screen on the broadcast today was thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey DeLon. See the screen for how to contact them. I'll be Sean. The Continental Endurance Sports Car Series returns November 12th for the final round from Sebring. We hope you will join us.
And for details of all upcoming events or to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /GlobalSimRacingChannel.
And finally, on behalf of my booth mates, Sean Ambrose and Ayrton Ellis, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I can't believe any of you are still watching. I still have a sentence to go, but we'd like, if anybody's watching right now, give yourself a pat on the back. And now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.